pretty dead out there. Hello? Is anyone home? Thank you, Giant. crapola going on in the AM ghetto. Bad lightning too. Lightning static. Hello? Is anybody out there? Or did the lightning just scare everyone away? CQ 75 meter AM from W2 BTK. There is not much going on out here, huh? Guess nobody's firing up this afternoon. Except for me, it looks like. I see like a couple of slop bucketeers scattered around the band. Not much going on. I guess everyone got their fill of radio this weekend for field day. Whatever. I'm hanging out if anyone's listening. W2 BTK on Montana Mountain.
W2 BTK Affiliated Kid, KC2 CWM Richard here on Long Island. Happy Day Monday to you, sir.
Yeah, what's up? It's sounding good. Right over the static crashes, which are pretty rambunctious today, I gotta say. But you're coming in here just fine, and happy Monday to you.
Yes, sir. Yeah, right back to the grind. You know, I still think there should be only 4 weekdays of work. Man, I tell you, I had a rough time going in this morning, boy. Woo! 'Cause yesterday was a beautiful day on the boat. Yes, sir. So, needless to say, I didn't want to get up in the morning. But, of course, I did, like I always do. And humidity dropped a little bit here. So, that's also a good thing. And, I think the temperature was down a little bit, too, compared to yesterday. But it was a beautiful day on the water. So, and yeah, we're going to get static. I think we got threat of thunderstorms all week. So, yeah, we're going to have to get used to a little bit of static in the radio.
Yeah, well, it's summertime. I hear you too, except I'm excited to go back to work. I've been sitting on my butt. We were supposed to start this job months ago. And then finally this week, I guess we got a bunch of material delivered, and they're setting everything up to bring the guys in probably next week, maybe the week after, I don't know, but very soon. So I've been sitting on my butt for a while. I'm ready to go back, make some money, get back into some kind of a routine, man. I've been staying up late, sleeping in, and it's just not good what's going on. But I think all this virus craziness is starting to wind down. People are seeing that, even most people who get it aren't getting sick. So a lot of deaths in nursing homes, stuff like that. But yeah, I don't know. Going to work sucks, but then when you're not going to work, that sucks too, for other reasons. But it's a beautiful day.
Yeah, it was. I guess I'm working about 30 miles from here. Oh, a place called Roz Nice in Long Island. North Shore. What's going? It's on the way to the North Shore, But it's hilly over there, so when I'm up on the lift and I'm like, I look out and I, look at the hills and then I say, oh yeah, look at that. They got a cell tower on that hill. They take advantage of all these hills. So it's a firehouse. I'm working on this one. So they're just all over the place. Another day, another dollar. We'll get more. But one good thing is I know what I'm in for. I like to know what's coming up the next day. Always, it can just make life easier. So I already know what's going on. So that's a good thing. And let's see. Hopefully I'm not overdoing my audio. Let's go to a trapezoid and see. Oh, okay, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Should be, there's a little bit of. There might be a little bit of. What is he called? A little bit of grunge in there, but it's not terrible. Okay. The old Viking 1, in case you forgot. And I'm right next to you and you're a Viking 2. What do you think?
Viking 1 sounds good, man. Audio's fine. I don't really hear anything that grungy. Just when you came on, you were super strapping, and then all of a sudden it faded down. You lost about half your signal. I guess the band is doing something funky, but that's all right. I still hear you pretty well. It's a little early, I guess. Usually there's a bunch of people out here, but who knows what the hell is going on today. It's just everyone's got a case of the Mondays, I guess. I don't know. But yeah, Viking 1's kicking butt. Running the Viking 2 over here. I love this thing, man. Using the stock modulator in that thing, or what do you got going on? It sounds good.
And both things you support. And then that is what is that, a 6825, and then that drives, they have that freaking there, but that one's gone. That's something in there that really doesn't belong in there. It's 3-to-1, but my plate voltage, that's 6825 goes to a cap. And that audio is fed to that transformer because the one I have does not want plate voltage going through it. So I don't know. I kind of rigged it all together, and it's working. I'm sure there could be more to it, but it's more of a winter project. I'm probably better off putting the covers on it and leaving it that way until I feel like playing some more. It's like it's you can call this thing an experimental project all the time.
Yeah, I hear you. Same thing with the transformer I'm using. Can't really put DC on it. I mean, I think I could, but it wouldn't be that happy. It would saturate, you'd lose all the low end, and it would just crapify. So I had a big old DC blocking cap. My buddy Dave gave me some like 40 kilovolt rated caps out of a TV transmitter, and they were super low value, but I got 4 of them in parallel, and they're all, really, really high voltage ratings, so didn't have to put them in series, just paralleled them to get a little more C. I think I got about a microfarad on my DC blocker, but it's working, dude. The band is crazy right now. Like, you were up and down like James Brown on that last one. You went way down and then came way up. So, band's doing something a little funny. But it's all good. Lightning crashes are crappy. I guess it is what it is,
Yeah, well, just so you know, you're doing the same thing. Like that. My S-meter is like all over the place. It's the band. I don't think it's anything you're doing or I'm doing, but it's a wacky band. Yep. Now, what the hell did I do to my scope here? All right. Yeah. You know what? When this humidity sets in, I can't tell you how many electronic gizmos, when it's high humidity, especially the older rigs, anything that's got some age to it that has a EEPROM in it or something, man, they could be wacky when this humidity comes. I have an air conditioner. I just played with it today. Window unit. And I threw it in yesterday because it was quite humid. Saturday, I think I threw it. And then, of course, many people have probably been running the AC for weeks already, but I live not too far from the water, so it wasn't totally uncomfortable until the other day. So I throw a couple window units in. So I put one in, and that son of a gun. All right, yeah. Then I went on the boat, come back, and the wife was complaining that I can't adjust it. It's got CPU control, up and down for temperature, and it's so the board, I'm like, okay, well, it's either dirty switches in there, little micro button switches, and I'm like, they suck anyway after a while. They do, eventually go bad, I guess, but, it's things not used that much. I said, it can't be that. So you took the whole board out. I cleaned it up and put it back in, and it's working again, but that's my standby unit now, because I have one extra. So I got the standby unit, because I switched it last night when it was crapping out on me. I said, I switched it out. So today when I got home from work, I just took it apart nice and gingerly and cleaned everything, put it back. They had a ribbon cable too. I was like, oh, don't tell me it's a ribbon cable problem. I hate them things too. Man, some of them ribbon cables could be really troublesome. But anyway, I'm happy at least it's working. Still got a standby AC unit, but my radio does the same thing now. I got this 930, it, high humidity, it always had, like all of these 940s and 930s have these problems. And I can't tell you how many times I've been in there. But now I noticed that it has nothing to do with the digital board, absolutely nothing, but it's my display. I think my display driver transforming. There's a little transformer in it. The liquid display numbers, and something's wacky with that, because that'll, I got to give it a little bit of a warm-up time before it straightens out. Blinking on and off and dim and then bright, and you leave it alone, it straightens out. When it's not humid, it's rock solid. So it's strange. Man, I tell you, you wonder what the power plants do when they got all kinds of computerized shit, and things start going wacky like that. Now, hopefully not, especially a nuclear plant. But, they got system standby after standby after standby backups, so it's all good. But anyway, W2BT and Billy the BTK, AC2, CWM radio.
Yeah, W2BTK. Man, I have the same issue with this rice box I got here. Borrowed it from a friend. I have to leave it on all the time. If I shut it off for too long, it's a Kenwood 440, and if it's humid at all, I guess it's VCO5, it loses lock, and it'll just display dots on the screen. I won't be able to do anything until that thing locks and finds a frequency, and then it'll slowly lock one band at a time. The longer I leave it off, the longer it takes to lock. I guess they had some kind of like schmutz they put on there. When it's humid and that stuff gets old, it becomes a little conductive, so it's got to dry out real well. So I just leave the damn thing on all the time to go around that problem. It's, from what I hear, a real pain in the you-know-what to fix that. So, that radio just stays on all the time. No, but I don't usually have any problems with my old junk, like the Viking and this and that. It kind of just chugs right along, knock on wood. But I had my share of air conditioning system problems too. I'm waiting for my little thermostat, the batteries in that thing to die, because it just runs off batteries. It's not hardwired or anything, and I've never replaced them since I got the house, so I will knock on wood for that too. But yeah, this air conditioning system, I came home one day like a year ago, and it was super hot outside, and the blower motor on the air handler in my attic was starting to go. So like I would come home and it would just be like trying to flip over, and I would climb up there and take the panel off and give it a good swing with my hand just to get it started, and then it would kick on and stay on. And I did that for a couple days, and finally I came home one day and I could not get the damn thing to spin. It was just hot, and it was like overheating, just crapped out. So I literally like had half an hour before the HVAC parts place by my house here was going to close. So I jumped in the car and raced down there, and they had a motor in stock that was a direct replacement for that thing. So I scooped it up and climbed in my attic, replaced that motor in the air handler, and it's been working well ever since, and we'll knock on wood for that too. Then the outdoor unit had the same problem, but luckily it wasn't the motor, it was just the run cap. Those things go all the time, so I threw a run cap in there, but this year it's just been working. So I think anything that was about to crap out, I've replaced at this point, so I should be able to enjoy a few years of maintenance-free air conditioning here. That is, until that battery dies in the thermostat while I'm at work and I come home and it's 90. But I identified at the beginning of my transmission, so we're good.
Yeah, I wonder what kind of battery voltage is that battery that does that anyway. I guess you could get a 23 at 3 volts. It sounds probably 3 volts, I would think. Get yourself one of them 2023 battery holders and two of them with their specialty battery, if it may be, and you throw those in there. Just to, that's for memory, right? Memory and set point and all that. So, or if you have another 3-volt source of some sort, but, because even like some of the old radios, the older, I guess 2 meters, they had all these crazy batteries in there. They're all made up, maybe 4 or 5 cells. Shrink wrapped together, and that was your memory battery. So, but if you couldn't get them, well, guess what? You just make one somehow. But even your remote for the car, those are 3 volts too, right? Those 2023 batteries, I think they might be. Some of them, anyway, the big ones. But the starter, motor capacitor, those things, you gotta have one on hand all the time, a spare, for the outside unit, because they could just die anytime. And it sounds like just the one in the attic, the air handler, that sounds like it was, maybe the motor was dry, needed a little lube. And I don't know if they have starter capacitors on those. They may, but I don't think they do. Well, yeah, man. So it sounds like you've been busy. Well, that's the other thing, too. Like, now you're saying, God forbid you get a Freon leak, because if the unit's got some age to it, you're not going to, a lot of guys don't sell the Freon no more, A lot of people wind up upgrading as soon as they have 1 or 2 problems with their AC unit, and it's 15 years old, 20 years old. That's it. Throw it out. You got to get a new one because they changed the Freon and all the new ones. I don't really know what they use. But it's different, so that's a common issue. Replacing the unit mainly for Freon because they changed it. And they claim they can't get it, or it's expensive, and then if you got a leak, you're going to have to keep charging, and so, yeah, they could be troublesome. KC2CWM with W2BTK. Any other takers out there, go ahead, jump in, man, if you guys can hear us.
I guess everybody left their radio off today. Yeah, let's knock on wood for that. It still blows cold. I don't think I have any leaks. I mean, I checked it all out. It's blowing cold right now, so it's just the motor issues. Who knows what happened with that thing? But it's brand new now, basically, so. Well, no, you're right. It's like my thermostat. It's got a little button cell, 3-volt, 2032, or something like that. And it's still kicking. But I've got some batteries over here, like I've got these, this stupid vape thing, like the nicotine vape you see the kids have below the giant clouds. Those run off some pretty badass batteries. Those are 18650 lithium-ion batteries, so you get some of those or one of those. I mean, that's like a 3 amp-hour battery. I just shove that in there behind the wall or something, and I bet I never need to replace it or charge it or whatever. That was my trick with my first processor. I was running this Behringer 9024. It's like a multi-band compressor, and this, the memory battery just kept dying, and it was, pretty stupid stuff. So I stuck one of those in there, and it has not been a problem since. So I don't have to leave that thing on all the time, which was, again, my workaround for it. This stupid thing kept dying. And, oh man, Dave's shouting out all the AM ops who buy all their stuff. Yeah, man, fix your stuff. It's cheaper. That day, with the motor and my air handler, if I would have called a dude to come out and do that, probably wouldn't have air conditioning that day. And I would have had to pay him thousands of dollars. I think I got the motor for like $150 or something. Took me an hour, and I had air conditioning, No big deal. Oh, and there's a run cap in that indoor air handler in my attic, which I replaced just cause, why not? I don't want to leave the old one in there, but yeah, stuff's a pain, but you do it pretty cheap. You do it yourself. It's not hard to figure out. Everything besides like the motors and all that, and like you were saying, the Freon, if you have a leak, that's bad. But most of the other crap, you just leave it the hell alone. It just stays working, So I don't know. Hopefully I get lucky. My AC system's like 20 years old at least, but it works well. So I don't know. Man, I can't believe nobody else is out here. It's kind of odd, but I don't know. I guess not really. We just had field day. People are probably like, I've had enough radio. And the crashes are bad. The band really sucks right now. I can tell. I'm hearing everything you're saying, but you're like down and up and down and up. So it can't decide what it wants to do. Oh, well. Maybe somebody will jump in there. Who knows? I don't really... excuse me. No big deal to me. I'm just playing radio. And there's an ant over there by my window. That's not good. Wonder where the hell he came from. Let me go check this out. W2BTK.
Yep, very good. Yeah, maybe Clark. He's a guy that's out there quite often, so he might be maybe he just got indoors and he's getting ready to play a radio. You never know. But yeah, no, that unit's old enough to where if you get a Freon problem, you're going to wind up changing the whole darn thing, unfortunately. I guess the other common thing is the pan. That goddamn pan. Condensate pan, you get a hole in that thing, the next thing you're doing sheetrock jobs. Oh, yeah. And that little pump, if it needs to pump. I guess if you have such a way where you don't need a pump or gravity drains, that's awesome. But if you need to have the pump, man, that's a very common problem. I don't have central air. If I'm going to do it, I'm going to get those units we were talking about last week, right? Who there was somebody on here, but maybe a Mitsubishi. Wow, those are expensive. Suzishu or something. It's same thing. Wall unit outside. 2 wall units for my house would be sufficient, and be a heat pump and AC shot. That's probably the way, and it's probably about $3,000. About $3,000 I could do that. Well, maybe if I get another wall unit, it might be a little bit more, $3,500, something like that. Been thinking of doing it this way. I don't have air conditioners, window units up and down. I don't particularly care for putting them in windows, really. Especially if you got a nice window sill that you don't want to scratch, they always get scratched putting them damn things in. As long as they don't fall out the window, that's another common thing. The girls, they try to put them in themselves. It falls out the window and lands on the ground. Heard that many times. In fact, I got one that somebody dropped out of the window. Not real far, had a dent, but, it was given to me, and I was like, yeah, it works. It's got a bend, but it works. It's funny. Funny stuff, I think. Anyway, just waiting for dinner. Waiting for the dinner bell to come. And I'm watching my scope. It's up there. I bumped up my audio on my IH. Well, mic input audio. I really never ran this high, but other day I did it just for kicks. So the downfall to that could be background, but I ain't worried about it. It's driving real well. BTK, EWM.
Yeah, you want to hear a funny story, right? So, I'm an electrician. I do these commercial jobs and whatnot. So we're building this college, and they had this some kind of AC unit up in the ceiling of this room, right? It was a drop ceiling, and they had the pan under there, and it was, for condensate and this and that. And it wasn't keeping up, the gravity or whatever. Like, it was overflowing a little bit. So we were getting these little drops in the dry ceiling. And, they had the guy, come and replace the tiles. And then they told the HVAC dude, like, yeah, install a pump on that so that, this stops happening. It's like, all right. They paid for an extra for the guy to come and put the pump in, right? And then they paid for an extra for the guy to come and replace the ceiling tiles that got damaged, which wasn't so bad, right? And then all of a sudden, over the weekend, there's like a big hole in the ceiling, right? So, like, what the hell? Like, you guys didn't install the pump? What are you doing? They're like, no, we installed the pump. It's like, well, then what the hell? What's happening? And they're like, well, there's nowhere to plug it in. It's got no power. And they were like, oh, Jesus. And so they got in our faces, the electricians. They're like, what the hell are you doing? Like, there's no power up there. And they're like, yeah. Like, show me on the blueprint where it says that you need a receptacle in the ceiling for a condensate pump. Like, we bid this job, we did the job, like, you paid for extras for them to come in and put that stuff in, and you're going to have to pay for an extra for us to run power out there and put an outlet in. And, like, they were fine with everything, installing the pump and the drop ceiling, because that was stuff that they could understand, I guess, and they just, like, fought, and we're like, no, like, well, you got to put that up there, like, this is BS, and this and that. It's like, well, dude, we're sorry you didn't think of that, but, like, yeah, so they had to pay to have the guy come back and, like, replace the whole ceiling, and then they were, like, really pissed about having to pay us to put a receptacle up there for the HVAC guys to plug their stuff in. And then, it was like this whole thing, like, like, we just want you to put the outlet, we're gonna pay them to come and, like, plug it in or whatever, and this and that. It's like, are you kidding me? Like, what the hell? Like, they just fighting. I was like, holy crap, man. So finally, like, they paid and we put the thing in. They had to fix the ceiling twice. They got in, like, the HVAC guy's face and were like, your pump's not working and this and that. And, like, they had to, like, throw us under the bus. Like, no, there's no power up there. And then they're like, what do you mean? It caused this whole thing. They had to spend so much money just because, like, they didn't think of that. Fixing the ceiling twice. The floor got all wet. They had to come, have them blow it out and dry and clean the carpets and this and that. What a mess, but that's how all those jobs go. It's crazy, man. It's totally crazy stuff. W2BTK.
Billy, can you hear me, Billy?
Yeah, man.
Do you know who this is, Billy?
Who that?
It's the glass from the past.
Oh, snap. The glass from the past. Hey, Daryl, what's the transmitter du jour? And you got Rich out there also.
Oh, yeah, man. That's why I haven't been on the radio. I haven't been on the radio, man. We on that airport, man. I'm on a 7300. A guy gave me this 7300, brand on the box. All his antenna and all that crap. So, I just mounted the T368. And I guess by tomorrow we'll be on a new transmitter. Putting together Gates transmitter. It's a great big old Gates. DC-1T.
You hearing Daryl out there? He's got a new 7300. It sounds good.
Yeah, now, how you doing, Daryl? Richie here. And I mentioned, I was asking Tim, I guess Timtron. I said, I haven't heard Daryl in about 4 or 5 weeks. He's either working a lot or, I don't know, but I guess that's what's going on. But anyway, it almost sounds like you're mobile. It really does. I'm on Long Island. You're in Jersey, I think, somewhere. But you're not mobile, are you?
No, this is a 7300. We disconnected T68 because we're getting ready to do a Gates BC 1T. We're making room for big gates, and we had to dismantle another room, and oh man, I got to run 220 lines, and oh man, and I've been doing a lot of hands at the airport. Hey Billy, did you go back to work? Billy?
No, not yet, Daryl, but apparently they just delivered 6,000 feet of conduit to the job today. They're bringing in gang boxes and, getting the site ready this week. So I think next week, most likely, I'll be going back. Job is finally going to start. And man, it's going to be a lot of overtime, but holy crap, is your back all right? Or, is your son's back all right? You had to move the big T368 dresser, dresser with the dresser drawers in it, man. That, holy smokes.
To make room for a BC monsters by I guess I don't know. We're in the making of doing a gate transmitter, so but that's why I'm on this little rinky dink 7300, and I don't know. I can get the here maybe by the weekend. I've been busy, dude. The airport is nuts, man. We're gonna take off Friday and holiday road. A lot of hours out there, man. We got a lot of work. It's a lot of work. Come on, 2 years. It's work out there.
Yeah, well, that's good for those 164 guys, but, well, maybe I can sign in over there if stuff really goes south. But I don't have my SWAT card or anything. I don't want to leave Rich out, but wait, hey, where did you pick up the BC-1T, man? Where'd you get that thing?
In Ohio. A guy named Henry. And Bobby gonna put it together. I don't run the 220 lines here, and oh man, that's why I got to put the T68 back here. But yeah, it's gonna be something, man. Indeed, that's gonna be something else. It's gonna be in the fall. Maybe by the end of July. I don't know. No. September. Not July. September. We should be in full.
Oh, dang, man. Yeah, that's cool. Well, like I said, maybe I'll have to go sign into the other local and get out to the airport if things don't shape up soon. But, hey, go ahead, Rich. I haven't heard from you in a while. W2BTK.
Yeah, okay, Daryl, he's up and down. I didn't catch everything he said, but, quite a bit, I guess. And he's saying airport, and I'm guessing he's at Newark or something. Newark or, LaGuardia, they're doing a lot of work, too. We did work there last year, I think. Almost 2 years, really. But it's so hard working over there. I'm telling you, I worked at Kennedy 2 weeks ago. And I'm telling you, they watching like a hawk. They got this hired guard agency they actually escort you to the bathroom. That's how tight the security is. I'm like, oh man, I got this Indian lady following me to the bathroom. Come on. I can't take it. I don't like jobs like that, and with everything, really, it's getting out of hand. And when you said card, Billy, I'm trying to think what, I have 62-hour, for New York DOT. Just to get on top of E30, supposed to be the competent person, so I have 2, because I usually have 1 or 2 guys with me, and I'm supposedly in charge. I don't like anything much, but well, that's. But I think you were referring to, I guess, one of those cards, right, Billy? Maybe the 30 hours.
Yeah, you gotta have all kinds of stuff. The 30 hours, the OSHA, and then there's a TWIC card, transit worker identification credential. But the one you need at the airport is a SWAC card, the Safe Worker Access Consortium, and that's an expensive one. And since the airport's not in our local, they don't even have it as an option to get it. It's I think it costs like $700 or something to get a SWAC card. But if you're gonna go work at the airport, I do believe you need a SWAC card, and that's what it is, the Safe Worker Access Consortium. Over W2BTK.
Wow, when do they get off charging that kind of money? I thought it would be something where you go for a couple hours. Well, it could be quite a few hours, training, and then they give you this crazy card. So obviously, well, my boss, he pays, if I was to miss a class or something, I pay myself, but, my company tries to, pool all the guys together and get so everything happens at once, and it's not like and it's all about the money anyway, It's crazy out there, that's probably one of the things I hate the most. Being in construction trades is all nonsense.
Yeah, well, the airport, there's a lot of nonsense there. The TSA and this and that. I mean, just to get on site and get to where you're working is usually like half the day from what I heard. And then, God forbid, one of your guys has to go to the bathroom. You all have to go. They don't leave you there to work. Whoever's there with you, you go with them, and it's like it's mostly just like standing in lines and waiting around and going around, and then you'll do about an hour of work every day, and it takes 8 hours. That's the airport. But I mean, it's all bid for. It's in the bid. They know that. All these contractors who are working in there, they know what's up. It might be different on like new construction. I think they're doing some new construction or renovation at the airport now. But if you're going and doing maintenance in there, which is what a lot of it was until Daryl's project there started up, I mean, yeah, that's how it is. You get like an hour, maybe 2 hours of work done in 8 hours over there. But they put it's in the bid, so it's a known fact.
Yeah, understood. And then I had to laugh about with the, I almost heard that same scenario with the electric not being up in the ceiling for condensate pumps like that. I've come across the same issue, but I often wonder, why? Well, depending on humidity, I guess. But why wasn't it engineered that way from the get-go? So now you got the GC busting your chops about the electric, but you know what? All those extras, guess what the GC does? Now, which is really, you don't hear of that happening, but, it goes right back to the engineering. Okay, who drew this up? And now those are the people that don't like to pay. Oh no, we're right. They're like, God. Oh, we're right all the time. So when it comes down to it, it's hard to get money from them. But that's really what it falls on. It goes past the GC and goes right to whoever engineered the drawings. And why wasn't it done that way to begin with? And if it could be proven, then yes, they got to pay. But yeah, it's really not my end of the field. But I hear stories like that all the time. Even with us, we get change orders like crazy, because we're assembling a building because I'm mason, and we see something wrong, and hey, guess what? We picked up on it. The architect screwed up. Okay, now they don't like to pay either. They're like God. Oh no, we don't make mistakes, but it happens all the time.
Yeah, I just left a little space in case Daryl wanted to jump in there. The glass from the past on his ICOM 7300. But yeah, no, it's a lot of the bids around, at least in my local, I mean, they bid to break even, or they underbid just slightly, and they count on those change orders, man. All the additions and changes and this and that. That's the only way they make any money. So I mean, at least one of the contractors I worked for, he was real good with the prints and this and that and the estimates and all that, and he would find stuff that he knew was a little screwy, and he would have us go do that first. He'd be like, look, I need you guys to get on this, get this done, before any other trades get in there and this and that, before people get wise. So like, we would be done, the bill would be in the mail, and then all of a sudden, bam, hey, we're going to change this whole room. It's like, oh, okay, ka-ching. And he'd just go, about the job in that manner and just mop up. And, he came in with an underbid, and he's the only one who made any money. But I mean, that kind of tactic, that really sucks. That in the long term, that hurts a lot of things, except for his wallet. But hey, that was his game. That's how he played it, and we're just there to do what we're told. So it is what it is. But it's crazy the way the business rolls, man. It's totally crazy. And yeah, the GC shouldn't be barking too much, because they see a piece of that. It's like, we're subs of them, so it is what it is. I don't know, that's just how it rolls in a lot of these big ass jobs.
I just sit back and look at what the GC has to do in general, because we're only one subcontractor, and you guys we are electric. Okay, one subcontractor, but the steel guy. How are they? I often sit back and say, how the hell these guys, as a GC, estimate a job, man? That is so hard. To me, that seems like it would be very difficult. It's amazing. It always amazed me. Anyway, I got to go run to the refrigerator, see if you can pick any other takers up there, Billy. Maybe Clark. He's got to be, I think I heard him last night for a little bit. They were on 75, I think. A couple of guys. Steve, maybe. There was a couple of guys last night. So, but let me run to the fridge. I'll be back. KC2CWM with W2BTK, and there's more takers that just are listening, I'm sure.
Alright, well, I didn't hear anybody jump in there. I don't know if Daryl's still out there. He might have gave up, but I was hearing Daryl pretty well over here. I mean, the occasional dropout due to lightning crashes, but I mean, I'm surprised. He's for 25 watts out of an ICOM 7300, and he had a good signal. So I don't know. I sent Clark a text. He said he's gonna get on after the thunderstorm, so he's I don't know if he's gonna be out here. Seems like maybe not, so I don't know. It's a beautiful day over here, man. The sun's out. It's been nice all day. It's just we got all the crappy weather this weekend, but I guess that's what they say. Field day is always the fourth rainy weekend in June. So, whatever. Is anyone else out there? Daryl, are you still out there? W2BTK.
W2ENY.
Hey, and there's Rob.
Hey, what's happening? I've been listening. Yeah, we had storms roll through here. They're headed on down to where Clark's at now. So I wouldn't reckon you're going to hear him for another hour or so. But anyway, let's see here. I could use a little bit more audio, it looks like. Yay. Yeah, that looks a little better there. Maybe I'll back it down a little bit. Yeah, we got hit pretty hard here before. A little bit of we had hail in the boat down in Haverstraw, about a half an hour south of here. My wife was telling me about it. She watched it on the cam that I have set up on the boat. So anyway, yeah. Other than that, man, just chilling, just hanging out. Maybe heading down there tomorrow. We'll see how it goes. I bought another Flex yesterday from a guy out in Indiana, and yeah, I'm kind of good with that, man. So we're gonna have 3 Flexes in the house now. So I might have to sell up some of my Rangers and Valiants. We'll see it. We'll see how that goes. W2BTK, W2ENY.
Yeah, those Flexes are sweet, man. I'll get myself one of these days, or in a non or something like that. But yeah, you sound good. When you're not remote, I guess you're at the house. It's very nice audio. I can actually hear a little bit of like an echo. It sounds like you got like a Connex echo board. I guess you're listening to a web SDR or something like that. I can hear it a little bit in the background. It actually sounds kind of cool.
No, it's actually part of the microphone. I bought one of these Chinese things. It's AOKEO is how it's spelled. AK30. It's got a volume control in the front and it's got an echo control in the front. And I have like a little bit of a valve in there. But anyway, yeah, give it a little presence. Rise, come on.
Yeah, come out. I like it, man. When I was on the chicken band and stuff, I always ran like echo on all my rigs, and I like that sound. I miss it. I mean, I never had the balls to run like straight up echo or delay out here, but I've got the reverb in there, which I really enjoy. I don't know if I have it really like cranking that much right now, or my signal's good enough to really hear it, but it's in there.
Yeah, it's in there when you hit it hard. But when you're just talking, I'm not really hearing it.
Yeah, that seems about right. It's, if I raise my voice for some reason and yell, then it sounds like I'm shouting down a hallway. At least that's what Mike Dog X-Ray told me. Well, I like your echo, man. That sounds cool.
Yeah, great. That sounds nice. Nice to hear it. Hey, some of the weirdness lately, what's going on in my hobby here on this side is, I went and I bought like an 8-port Ethernet hub. Because I'm going to have 3 Flexes in here now. I got the Casa. I got to have a secure server for that, for the switches, the remote switches that I use for my amps. So I can iPhone connect with it, with the Henry 2K and with the Ameritron stuff. But anyway, it seems kind of backwards, you know. I'm buying a friggin' Ethernet switch for my ham radio equipment, and it's like 20 years ago. If you told me I was gonna be doing that, I'd been like, you gotta be kidding me.
Oh man, that stuff is cool though. Like, I like all that networking stuff, but I never knew much about it until I built my new PC and had a reason to, like, you know, hardwire a bunch of stuff. But I've got all that crap going on over here too with my ham setup, like to do this live streaming. I have two computers going. One runs the SDR and one streams, and they're connected. You know, the video output of the SDR and the audio go over my network, so I have to have an Ethernet switch there to do this. And you know, I don't know, it's the future, man. 2020, the future's now. But networking and computer nerdery and all that crap is cool and kind of addictive, man. Like, I think I'm addicted to, like, computer hardware. And, you know, it is what it is.
Yeah, I got a computer junk right here, but WebSDR site. I'm gonna play with that. It was like $20 and change off Amazon. It's no big deal. It's no skin off my nose. It comes with it's got bias on the SMA connector, so I'll be able to put a FET out there. Run some like RG174 outside. With a little whoop antenna or something like that on it, and we'll check it out. But anyway, yeah, different stuff, man. Different stuff is cool, and it doesn't require stuff like recapping and heavy lifting.
Yeah, but hey, that stuff is cool too. I like my boat anchors and I like my tube gear and all that. So it's just whatever you're in the mood for that day, you know. It's good to know about both worlds, the super modern stuff and then the ancient stuff. You honestly learn a lot from doing, you know, boat anchors and all that crap. That's what I started out with. But yeah, I think the switch I have, it's a cheapie also. It's like a Netgear or something. I was going to go for like a legitimate one, something used off eBay, you know, out of like I don't know, like some server closet or whatever. But I decided that screw it. Just went with like the consumer cheapie, you know, Netgear Ethernet switch, and I got myself one of those FT240-31 toroids, you know, the big donut with like the 2-inch inner diameter, and all the Ethernet cables wrap around that a couple of times before they plug in, and I haven't had a problem with it yet. Knock on wood.
Yeah, I know if I run more than 200 watts carrier with the Henry 2K put out in the rack, I don't have issues with that, and I've had it done the clamp around. Some of the other, like from previous jobs ago, I got a whole lot of those, like the 43 mix toroids and the 88 mix toroids. I got a whole bunch of those, and yeah, I've put those through the Ethernet cables through that about I don't know, 5 turns or whatever when I'm close to the box. And it definitely improved things. The 8-port switch that I just bought, I'm planning on putting screws into the ceiling. I don't know whether you see my shack or not, but it's I only have like a 4-foot ceiling in here, and yeah, I got a couple of racks in here, and space is kind of limited. Half of the shack is for building and selling stuff. The other half is for sitting and hanging out. And anyway, the new Ethernet switch is going to get drilled into wood in my ceiling here, and I got a outlet that's about a foot away. And it'll be good. It's a good branch point, and I'll have the Ethernet cable come in from the other room. I'll just reroute it from the PC where it is now, and I'll buy a bunch of 10-foot cables. I think that should be good enough. That'll run to the secure Casa AC switch, the 3 SDRs. We'll see how it goes. The second SDR that I bought is actually pretty cool. It's got the antenna tuner built into it, and that's the one that I had that hum on it a few months back. I was playing around with it before I got the 6300 that was being serviced, because I blew up the relay in it. But anyway, that's the one that I'm on now. But the one that has a hum on it, I'm planning on using on Sideman, and it's going to be 2015 and 10 and 6. But one of those Cherry W2 FMI Ballons, 1-to-1 Ballon that I'm going to run to the SDR on coax, and then I'm going to have some open wire line go over to the antenna feed that goes up to my tri-bander, and it's just it's going to be pointed at Europe. I'm leaving it fixed. I'm not going to rotate it. And anyway, it'd be some good times. I'm also planning I might do a dipole off of that as well. I don't think it'll cut down the gain, because I'm planning on running the dipole in the same plane as the boom. So there should be no issue with gain going to Europe up the Hudson River here. And I'll put that dipole up. I think it's going to be good. It's going to fill in. It's going to help me out with stateside stuff. And anyway, with the automatic tuner, going through that Ballon with the open wire line, it's like slam dunk.
Oh, hell yeah. Oh, that's cool, man. You did tell me you had a 4-foot ceiling in there, and I was thinking to myself when you were talking about the flexes, I was like, dang, he's probably got flexes stacked all the way up to the ceiling. Oh my God. No, that dude, you're doing cool stuff over there. Dave was just checking out your eBay stuff, and I opened up eBay, and yeah, you got a lot of cool stuff on there. All the various, cables to go to and fro from like ham equipment. I seen the microphones. That's cool stuff, man. You got a lot going on.
Yeah, that's no lie. Between the website and between eBay, it's like, dude, I was doing like my average, my 3-year running average, all right, before COVID, I was doing like $158 a day. Dude, I've been doing like $380 by now. It's like my regular job. I work from home, but it's like I can't keep up with this stuff, man. I get up at 6 o'clock in the morning now, and I'm building stuff until stuff starts going on at work, and then I gotta go and deal with that, and then by this time of night, I'll flip on the radio. I'm already like burnt out working like all day, and then I ship everything in the morning. It's like a vicious cycle. But you know what? It's good money, and I love doing it, man. I love building stuff. I've been a builder since I'm a kid. I mean, tree forts with radio equipment,
Yeah, that's badass, though. I mean, you got a decent, very, very decent second source of income. That's cool. I've always thought about doing something like that. Never have, but no, that's good, man. Yeah, I was just perusing all your stuff. I posted the link to your eBay store in my Twitch there. I hope you don't mind, but I'm sure you don't. That's cool stuff. I mean, I guess with the COVID, yeah, everybody's staying home and buying stuff. It's insane.
And there's this guy that I know out in Sparks, Nevada. I don't know whether that rings a bell, but anyway, he's like a sales rep for a bunch of companies like Gigaparts and HRO, and I have these military headsets. They look like like a phone handset, but they're like military. They're like Chinese knockoffs of what 77 or 76, I forget. But anyway, they're really cool. Yeah, it's got an earpiece. It's got a microphone pushed to talk. And I've been working this deal with him. HRO is going to exclusively sell my stuff. And I agreed not to compete with them. I'm not going to pick and sell it on the side. But I'm doing an exclusive thing with them for like the next 3 years for a whole friggin' ton of these things. And anyway, beyond what I'm doing now, it's like I said, it's killing me, but it's a good thing. I enjoy doing it, and I'm fortunate to have the capability to be vision and no shake. And stuff like that. I'm going to be like 59 this year, so things are going. And yeah, in terms of income, this thing that I do on the side is paying close to what I make at my regular job, which is like really like take home pay, which is really good money.
Dude, that's awesome. I mean, God forbid something happened, like, you got something going. It's a true entrepreneur, and it's not crap on there either. It's like useful stuff. But there's all kinds. Well, I mean, you said it. There's all kinds of people that would want this stuff. They buy a new rig and they buy something new for their rig, and they go, oh crap, I need like XYZ cable, and well, there you go. You're the W2ENY store. Yeah, if you're getting big enough that you're going to make deals like that and promise not to compete with HRO, damn, like, yeah, you're doing it, man. That's cool. Love those, like, entrepreneur stories, man. It's a nice web store, bro.
Yeah, thanks. Appreciate it. All good. So we gotta wait for the third Plex to get here. The second Plex I just put in the other day. I got a little Astron 18 amp, 15 amp continuous supply. That's what's running the one on the upper bands, 2015 and 10. And that thing is running freaking great. I just run sideband on that, and that thing is like super cool. And it's kind of weird how the Bluetooth in my iPhone works. I got a Volkswagen Golf. Okay, it's kind of new. I think it's like 2017 if I remember right. It's got a lot of the Bluetooth stuff set up in it, but it's kind of like quirky. If I have the iPhone on already, running to the SDR, and I switch the car on, sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't come through, but it's so cool. I get it going in. I got like HF radio crashing through the speakers, Bluetooth from my iPhone to through the cell phone to the home here. And it's so cool. And that was the deal when I bought the car. I was like shopping around for like a diamond mount for. I had a Golf, Volkswagen Golf GL back in '97 that I had forever. I ran the car into the ground, and it was 250,000 miles or whatever. And I had two mounts for ham sticks. One was 70. One was 20. The other was 40, and then I had the mega antenna that stuck out of the back of the car. It had like a 3-inch PVC center, a PVC mount for coil, and I used RG174. I used the outside conductor, the shield for the coil, and on the inside of the PVC I had a with like a 10-position ceramic switch, and I could like band select because the antenna that I built was like so high Q, I could only get like 30 kilohertz like out of it. And you know, I had a tuner in the car, and anyway, it was great. I worked Europe, okay? 4 o'clock in the morning, I'm leaving my house going to a half-fast. This is like 20 years ago. And I worked a guy in Europe on 75 meters from my car. All right, there's like people that can't do that. You know what I'm saying? And anyway, so I bought this car like a little bit more than a year ago, and I started looking around for mounts, and like my wife gets wind of this, and she's like, "You're not doing that again." I'm like, "What?" And she's like, "Oh no, you're not pimping the car with the antennas again." And I said, "It's all right. I got a deal for you." So we pulled the truce, and I said, I'm gonna buy this SDR, and I'm going to mount it. It's going to be at the house, and I'm going to be able to use my ham radio from the house in the car. How's that sound? And so we called the truce, and that was it. And then I bought the Flex, and it's been history ever since.
Yeah, that's the way to do it anyway, I think. You use your full-size antenna at home and just remote into your Flex when you're out mobile and this and that. But, dude, there's a lot of guys, I mean, well, including yourself, that do really well out of their HF mobile. It's just, I don't know, I never really wanted to give that a go. I did a lot of mobile stuff on the Chicken Band, but that's a little different. I mean, those antennas are manageable, so you don't need to come up with all this stuff like your band switched antenna and this and that. You just stick a, you know, anywhere between like a loaded 5 to 7 foot antenna up there, and you're talking. But yeah, that's funny as hell, man. Like I know Clark, he's told me stories like when he would date girls and stuff, he had like his mobile set up in the car or whatever, and when he'd go like pick them up, well, he would try to get them to pick him up, but if he had to drive, he would completely like dismantle everything, take the radio out of the car, take the antenna off, and this and that, because he didn't want them to see it. I guess most women just don't like that stuff, but whatever. Man, it'd be fun if Clark was out here. I know it's probably like thunderstorming where he is, so he's not on the air, but he has the statistic of like how many women operators there are on ham radio. It's a pretty low percentage, I think, but you know, there's some that are into it, but I would say that the big majority are not, and they don't want to see antennas. So whatever. But hey, man, you could sell some of that stuff too, like mobile stuff. Get the RFI out of your car, this and that, and I mean, there's a big market for like Chicken Band stuff too. You know, if you can mix it in there. I don't know. There's all kinds of stuff like that. People are still spending a lot of money on Chicken Band stuff. I know that. Ham radio stuff too. But you know, that's a whole nother side of the market. W2BTK.
All right, I left a little space in there. Hey, you know, I broadened out my audio a little bit. What am I at? I'm at 5800 is what I set it up for. I remember a while back. What's this called? The WFB. Brian, he helped me out with the with this SDR, it was sounding like crap. I was trying to run it like 8K wide, and I guess the radio with its self-configuration and stuff like that wasn't liking it, and he's the guy that had me set it at 5100, and I since broadened it out a little bit, and it still sounds pretty good. But anyway, not sure where I'm going with that. But yeah, the whole ham radio setup in the car. I used to travel so much years ago, and it was like I wasn't in the AM a whole lot. I was in the AM from 1980 to probably 1987 or something like that, and then I got involved with the guys from 3910 and what went on there, and they're a bunch of sideband guys. And I was traveling for work and stuff, and it was like I had a fishing pole in the car and an antenna tuner and like a whole setup that I would bring into the hotel room with Mylar tape and stuff, so I could run an dead wire into the window of the hotel room, and I was I go out and get a few beers, bring them back to the room. I get on 3910 and hang out. It was really a blast. And then it spilled over into the car, and then the antennas on the car. I never got into it with the Metron linear and stuff like that. There's a bunch of guys that I knew that had that, and they had they ran this low voltage wire to their battery, or I'm sorry, low diameter wire, 16 gauge or something like that, over to their battery, and they had a motorcycle gel cell in the back of their car, and they had this Metron linear. And the thing was I don't know, 500 to 600 watts out or whatever on sideband, and some of these guys had Johnson matchboxes in their car. It was kind of sick funny. But anyway, I never got that bad into it. I had a decent enough signal on sideband with the antennas the way that I had them rigged. The ham sticks that I had at a 45-degree angle, because you'd set your SWR when you're standing, and then when you drive they flex back and the VISWR would change. So I was cognizant of that, and that was good times. But anyway, the big antenna on the back, man. It's not quite Mobile King like Into GSA used to have, but it's up there. And like I said, I worked Europe for my car, so I paid my dues. W2ENY.
W2JBL. Whoops, too much audio.
Hey, Chris. How you doing? That's cool, man. Messing around with all that stuff. I never did a lot of portable or mobile ham stuff, just chicken band stuff. But by the way, the audio sounds good at 5.8. The S's and the sibilant sounds sound good. They're poking through. I run mine out where you said you had yours about 7.5, but most of my vocal energy is contained within 4kc audio bandwidth, and then just on my sounds it pokes out to around 7.5 every once in a while, but the majority of my voice energy is actually contained within an 8kc total chunk, and then I let it rip out so it doesn't, you can't hear any of the corner frequencies or anything. It sounds natural, so I don't really spit into my mic or anything like that. But when I do that, it gets nice and wide. You see on my pan adapter. Anyway, what's up there, Chris?
Don't spit into your mic.
Hey, Dave. W2ENY, forgive me, I forgot your name. W2JBL. Right now I'm portable touring Old Forge, New York, up at my camp in northern New York State, central New York. Just listening to the whole mobile thing. I love HF Mobile. I've been doing it since early 90s. Right now I'm doing it from a vintage car, which happens to be very, very quiet. I've got a decent antenna on there. It's part homegrown, part modified Hustler stuff. Measured 10 dB better than a ham stick, which is what I started with. But I'm using a tube transmitter. I'm using an ARC-V. I got a 120 watt carrier. I got 150 watts of audio I can put on it with the 3-diode ultramodulation system. I've stepped on base stations with it on this band. I can easily step on base stations with it on 40 meters. I use a rice box for a receiver. I'm using a cheap Olinko rice box for a receiver. Oh my God, on long trips like up here, it's a 5-hour drive. I love it. In fact, I'll be on cleanup tomorrow morning because I'm coming home. But, now, I thought about the whole smartphone and what you're doing and QIX is doing. And I don't find a challenge in it. It's 75-meter mobile in the summer. One of the biggest challenges in radio that I've ever encountered, and I really had a lot of fun conquering it or trying to. That's my comments. Been listening for a while, and you guys are not running 7.72 and 5.1. You're running 10.2 and 15 point whatever. You have 2 side bands. Have to get over that mentality of I'm running 5 up and 6 down. You will see my signal is asymmetrical, but that's because it was designed. The transmitter was designed in 1938. So correction on the bandwidth. But you both sound great, and I hear Dave in here, so I'll turn it to Dave and take a sip on my beer. It's gorgeous. Go ahead, Dave.
Real quick.
Kind of sorry got the dinner call, but just really enjoying you guys and listening, so I'll keep it turned up. They're a lot of fun. Carry on. Just wanted to say hello. And I'll be on later if the band doesn't get crappy. W2 very weak. Take it away, Billy. Good to hear you, Chris and Bob.
Yeah, it's a matter of semantics there, Chris. I don't know if you're actually listening to what I said, but I was talking about audio frequency when I was saying, 7.5, and then I said most of the vocal energy is about 4kc, 8k total bandwidth. So it depends. I mean, I suppose I'll have to say exactly what I'm talking about from now on, but yes, 7.5 audio bandwidth, right, from my processor makes 15 kc total bandwidth. And from now on, okay, I will make that distinction, but it's not a correction. I was talking about audio.
Different term, audio bandpass.
Again, semantics.
Yeah. I came out of the two-way radio industry, Marine aircraft, and finally public safety. And bandwidth was always expressed as the total occupied bandwidth of the signal. I'll get off of my stump and then down from my high horse.
I border West Point property on the north side here in Orange County. Running Flex 6300 and Henry 2K85 repair at 3-5. Yeah, you're right. Level shop, 75 meters. Oh man, I've got a lot of things in my way. There's nothing like it. But I was restricted to putting it in a car last year.
Yeah, I'm sorry, I forgot the name. Could you give me the name? What's your name?
Bravo, Oscar, Bravo, Bob.
Got it, Bob. Sorry, I know we've worked before. Yeah, oh man, I enjoy it. I've got it to the point now that it's a 78 Chevy Caprice with a stock ignition, high-performance engine with a stock ignition. My noise level on 75 meters with the engine running, 9kc filter in the receiver, is about S3, and an average decent signal guy with 100 watts in a dipole is S9, so I'm getting a very good signal-to-noise ratio, and it works out good. I mean, I'm able to drive around up and back and forth from my place in Dutchess County, Hopewell Junction, to here in Old Forge, New York. 1 o'clock in the afternoon, maximum absorption. I'm talking Tim Prawn and whoever happens to be around. Now I've been fooling with it since the early 90s. It was a long, slow road, but man, when I went to the tube transmitter, that just changed everything. No more, 20 watts out of a rice box or anything like that. And I'm running an Arc 5 transmitter here, driving a Heathkit SP220. We're probably running the same power, running about 325 watts. And the Arc 5 RF deck is modulated by a pair of 807s, pretty elaborate power supply modulator, because the Arc 5 is just an RF deck. So that's what's going on here. God, I'm all buzzing. Very nice signal up here into the North Country, both of you guys.
Yeah, that's cool. Alright, I got it. Yeah, Arc 5 RF deck there. It's pretty cool. Anyway, I gotta say, I gotta get out of here. I had a couple of glasses of wine down here, and I know that if I get caught doing that down here, my wife's gonna be like, "Where's my wine?" So let me cut out of here. I'm not sure if I'll be back or not, but anyway, nice talking to you guys, Chris, Dean, Billy. We'll catch you cool cats later on. W2ENY.
Yeah, 7:30, Bob. Enjoy the wine. Well, I'm single, no kids, and it's my last night up here at my camp. I got a 12-pack left in the refrigerator. Don't want to bring it home, can't let it go to waste.
See you later, Rob.
Yeah, and don't have any thoughts about using that on your way home.
Oh, never happened. I went down for that in 1984. It's KBW.
Yeah, I hear you. Yeah, no more roadies. Yeah, it's been a few years for me too.
No big deal. Lost my job, got kicked out of my apartment, had to move back into my parents' house. Yeah. Just a little deal. Nothing, no big deal, right?
Alright, on that, I'll catch you guys later on. W2E.
Later, Rob. W2BTK.
Man, it's the first night where I haven't had constant 30 over static in about 4 or 5 days. I don't know what it's been like for you guys down there, Bill, but the conditions have been terrible up here.
I got pretty hellacious lightning static right now, but when it's not jumping up, yeah, the noise floor is actually really, really low today. All weekend, it's been decent. I did a little bit of field day operating, had a little pile up going down there on like 3861 or whatever Saturday night. I think I worked like about 150 stations in 2 hours, and then I was like, all right, that's enough for me. But the whole time it was lightning crashes, and I didn't have my SDR set up right. I mean, it's set up for listening to AM, slow, rag chew kind of stuff. So when I got the pile up in my ears, I was like, I was having trouble pulling people out that I could hear just fine. And running a fast rate like that and trying to play with AGC and log people correctly and this and that, I was just like, screw it. So I would call whoever I heard, but the lightning was not too bad during that Saturday night. I didn't operate yesterday at all, but yeah, noise floor's low. We got bad crashes here.
Well, I guess they're down near you. I'm getting them, but they're much older. Good evening. Had that thunderstorm. Hey, Clark. 24/7. 12 days. I mean, all day long, 20 overnight. And of course, it would get worse at night, and it just, I've been on the air. You heard me. It wasn't a lot of fun most of the time. What do you run on sideband? I didn't know they were sideband capable.
Chris.
Uh-oh. Somebody's looking for me. Who just called me?
I don't know, but but that's enough time. Yeah, I heard that too. They said Chris. And hello, Clark. I'm running a TS440 that has direct feeding the balance modulator, and it's got some Collins mechanical filters in it. I think 3.4 for, I'm sorry, let me say this correctly. No, it is. It's sideband, so it's 3.4 for sideband, and then 10 kc for AM transmit.
Wow. Sounds pretty good. So what? It's that and an amp?
440.
Nice double.
Well, who are you talking to?
Can you hear Chris?
I hear you.
Wow. Well, hi, Clark.
Yeah, Bill, that sounds like a Dave built 440.
It is. It's a W2 VW special, and it was his son's, and he's just having a kid, so it's got problems, and it needs to stay on all the time, or else VCO5 loses lock, and it's a pain in the ass. So he gave it to me to keep it warm, so I've been trying to use it. And I'm excited because, I was not multi-mode capable for the longest of time, but now I finally am. And I even got my FT8 crap all set up.
Wow, cool. That's a good radio. I've considered buying one of those for a backup, but the damn VCO cap issue makes me shy away.
Yeah, the dots of death. What's up there, Clark? You really can't hear Chris? He's coming in really well here.
He is well under the static levels, so just talk with Chris and I'll catch you later. N1 BCG.
Wow, that's insane. 350 watts carrier and the antenna is aimed directly at Clark.
WB2SIH.
Hi, Buck. You want to go down the band a little bit?
Yeah, give me your frequency.
3873.
3873. Thanks, guys. WB2SIH.
I'll see you guys in a bit. W2JBL.
All right, Chris, we'll catch you in a few. And hello, SIH. Goodbye, SIH. All right, Clark. Chris is QSY, and he picked up another station there. They're sliding on to 73, so it's just you and me, unless there's lurkers. W2BTK.
Well, SIH was a 20 over, you're 30 over, and Chris was about an S4. So very weird conditions we have.
I'm not running much power. I'm running Clark power, about 200 watts carrier, and not even legal limit peaks.
So this is what, a Kenwood that you're using, and you're feeding audio into the back? That's remarkable.
No, I'm not on the Kenwood right now. I'm on the Viking 2 right now. I could switch to the Kenwood. I'd have to change some XLRs and go flip some switches in the other room. But I've been on it before. You've heard me on it many times. It's hard to tell the difference. The only real difference is it's limited to 10 kc bandwidth, whereas when I'm on the Viking 2, I'm about 15 kc bandwidth. But it really doesn't sound that much different. Remember all those days I was out here running like only 15 watts and stuff? I was on a big kick about it. That was all the 440. I mean, I've been on it, and it's probably hard to tell like which rig I'm on. It just it sounds good, and I was using it on field day, like I said, to just work a crap ton of stations.
Yeah, you don't have to switch to it. I thought you said you were using it, but all right. Yeah, I have heard you on it. Well, hey, it sounded fine, so good deal. Well, look at that. He's a field day fool, and I don't mean that in a bad way. Just So, would you pull like an all-nighter and stuff? How'd it go?
Nah, I came out in the evening. I don't know, what was it, about 6 or 7 o'clock when I fired up, 80 meters. I was on 3861 because that was really the only spot that was nearby enough that I didn't have to retune anything, and with my antenna and whatnot. And it was a nice clear 3kc chunk there, so I hopped on there and I just ran a pile up for like 2 hours, man. I called CQ one time and then it was just like pile up. I probably worked about 150 stations in 2 hours. I was running a pretty good rate. There's a video of it, of me operating for the entire 2 hours, and then I made another video which was a recording from Dave. He was listening for like the last hour of that, and they're both up on my YouTube. I was having a really, really good time, man. You can hear it in my voice. Like, I was having a hell of a time.
That's cool. Did you log everything? Are you submitting the logs?
I wrote it all down, but I'm not submitting any logs or anything. It was just for fun.
Oh, all right. Yeah, well, they legitimized it. I mean, it certainly helped a lot with people participating in field day. I don't know the exact rules. I've never really delved into it, but apparently, what was it, in the past, the Class D stations, basically like what we're doing now, just operating normally from home, they would count, but you couldn't have two D stations talking to each other for credit, and then they waived that. You probably already know this. But anyway, so even if you didn't keep a log, you probably got a lot of people some good points out there. So good. Nice.
Yep, and that's 100% correct. A D station can't work another D station for points on field day. Not to say that they can't do it, but it doesn't count, except for in the year 2020 with this virus crap. So they made it so that, everything counts, D station to D station. But I gotta say, about maybe 25% of those stations I worked were alpha stations out there actually doing like for real field day. I worked a good chunk of alpha stations. I worked a couple B class. I think one or two. One F station, which is emergency coordinator, which was really cool. So yeah, I think I worked just about every class of station. And like I said, about 25% of them were alpha stations out there in the field, set up on portable power with some kind of antenna that they threw up. And I made a point to talk to those guys a little bit, find out what type of antenna they were running and this and that. As much as I could, but I mean, man, I was really, really, really banging contacts. I was running a very, very fast rate, which I think people appreciated, and it remained a pile up the entire 2 hours that I was out there until my throat started to feel a little funny. And I was like, yeah, I'm going to go get a drink of water, and it never came back. But I mean, dude, within like 30 seconds, somebody stole my frequency, so it is what it is. There was actually one point in there where I went to go get my headphones, and I was off the mic for about, 20 seconds. And in that 20 seconds, somebody hopped on the frequency and started calling CQ. But, it didn't work out for him. I just got back on the mic and continued my pile up, held my frequency. So, dude, it was so much fun. You should check out the recording from Dave. I mean, it's just, you get to hear me just, like, you can hear it in my voice, dude. I was having a great, great time. W2BTK.
Well, that's the essence of field day. You're supposed to be having a good time. You're supposed to, be challenged, because it's not supposed to be just, just do it and whatever. Well, I mean, you can do that, but you're supposed to, give it the extra effort. But you're supposed to enjoy it, too, so it sounds like you did it all the right way. Well, for field day next year, you can be really prepared with macros. Imagine that, because I'm sure that if you go back and watch the video, you can see that you say the same thing over and over and over. And with some clever applications of macros, you could make lots of contacts and never have to take a break. Just hit different keys on the old keyboard and away you go.
Yeah, not really though, Clark. I was having fun actually, talking to people. The stronger stations I would chat with for, like a round or two. If somebody had an interesting call sign, like this one guy checked in, who's a 3-call, I think, with the suffix BBQ. And I was like, oh man, you're making me hungry. And just like throwing stuff in there. I was having a good time. It wasn't just like wham bam thank you. Like I was actually talking to people here and there, and I think people appreciated that. Like they wanted to work me, Macros are cool, but that's more of like a contest thing, and that's the one pet peeve that I have about Field Day. It is not a contest, okay? It's an emergency preparedness drill meant to get people to go out, get on portable power, make contacts, and have fun. It's not a contest.
I had to call in 6 times before I could get W2BTK. 6 times.
You sure sounded determined.
Hello, Clark.
Good evening.
Hello, Clark.
Hello, Dave.
No, you gotta do a little bit more feeling, Clark. It's hello, Clark.
Don't want to get too, well, that's cool. Maybe you can do a hybrid of that. You can work the macros until you realize that people want to chit-chat, or if you want to, it's like switching in radio terms. It's like switching from automated to what was the other mode? There was automated, and then there was semi-live or something like that. The disc jockeys could switch to a different mode on the automation system, so they could run it manually. But and I agree with you, and a lot of people have said that Field Day is not a contest, but it sure as hell is structured that way. I mean, you earn points for different stations contacted and stuff like that, and there's a point scale for different kinds of stations, so it is set up like a contest. But one thing that maybe they should consider for next time is actually passing traffic. So for example, have competitions for who can take a message and get it across country. Now that would add like extra points. So a message is sent from a station on the East Coast, and it has to make it to the West Coast, and you have to find stations to complete the relay. See? That would be a whole new dimension of Field Day, and one BCG.
Yeah, there's a station trying to get in there as well.
Sounds like that's the space you need to go pick them up.
Oh, they probably gave up, whatever. But, yeah, macro, schmacro. I don't know. I would do that in a contest. But I was giving the people a little bit of personality with my contacts, man. And I was into that, right? Dave, do you seriously tried 6 times? I mean, I heard you, like, pretty clear when I heard you. But I guess that just goes to show how much of a pileup it was and how screwed up my AGC was, man. Everything was, like, running together. It was kind of nutty. But Connor was trying to work me too. He sent me a text that I didn't see till after, and he was trying like hell to get me. But I don't know. I was just it was a pretty hellacious pileup.
Connor's in the recording calling you, but he's got some goofball call sign, so you missed it.
Hello, Dave.
There he is. Who's that?
Howdy.
Oh, it's Phil.
It's me, and I just passed some traffic, and I'm feeling much better now.
But there is another station under Phil that said, "Hey, Dave, a fourth party."
Hey, Dave.
Okay, you've got the conch. Make one. Who is it?
It's like a mystery guest. Sign in and say a few words.
Hi, Phil. How you doing? I'm glad you're feeling better now.
Hi, Dave.
Hi, Dave.
Hi, Dave.
Please.
Good evening, everyone. W2PHL.
That was a quadruple. That was cool.
Hey, Dave.
Who's that? Who is that?
It's a guy running
Who
a...
is that? Who is that? Who is that calling in? Who is that calling in? Over. Who is that calling in? Only third person calling in. Over.
Tell him, Clark.
Hey, Dave.
Thanks for trying. It was great. W2VW.
Tell him, Clark.
It's the Peanut Gallery. Hello.
Tell him, Clark.
It might be Bill, but I don't know. It's hard to tell. And thanks for your persistence.
Nope.
Sounds like he's on a phone patch.
How the hell are you, Phil?
Oh, I'm doing good, Bill. I was just listening to you guys a few minutes ago and heard about all your exploits on Field Day. Yeah, very cool stuff. Never did Field Day, but I always think about it.
It's big fun, man.
Spreading the joy.
Well, yeah. When I called in, there was pretty good pileup going, from what I could tell, and you said you were adjusting your AGC. So right after you said that, I think it took only 2 more calls, because I think what was going on was I may have been using more than just the lower sideband, and that might have something to do with why you thought your AGC was screwed up.
Oh, dang. Yeah, there was an AM station that keyed up, and I don't know if they were trying to call in or this or that, but, like, I switched to AM, and I was like, okay, like, who is the AM station calling in on Field Day? And then crickets. I was like, oh, crap. All right, it just went back to, lower sideband QRZ.
Yeah, the best thing to do with that is just keep going on receiving the way you are. But you're okay at that. And you had fun. And you gave some contacts out. Right, Phil? That's what it's about. It's about having fun on the air. Having fun on the air.
I got this cute, sweet little GRC 9 that was like the intention behind it is to bring it out for Field Day, and I have an inverter supply that can run it from 12 volts. Puts out like 5 or 6 watts of AM on 75 and on 40 meters, and I got the little dipole all set. I had everything ready about 2 or 3 years ago, and 2 or 3 field days have come and gone. I've yet to take it outside.
Nice for weather, and you always find yourself going to a barbecue.
Yeah, not on Field Day. It's always the 4th rainy weekend in June.
I was kayaking on Field Day, so I could have brought my Baofeng out on the water.
Should have thrown it overboard.
Speaking of GRCs, Nick was on with his stationary portable GRC 19. Gave a real nice explanation of it on the air the other night.
Oh, the truck radio there. What is that? The T195, I think.
Yeah, that's just the transmitter, but yeah, part of the whole setup.
Oh, Okay, so G9, what is it? G19?
So is it GRC, like, what's the whole thing? NAGRC 19?
You know what? I think it's, what is it, AN? Army Navy GRC 19, which is what, a T95 and an R392 and maybe some other accessories. You know, like, all these things, we're picking them apart into components, but we're talking about the same thing.
All those military guys and their model numbers. Yeah, that's cool. What a great setup that was there.
Well, he was for hours the other night from his driveway.
Yeah, he took a picture and sent it to Dave. I had it up on my live stream.
Did he have the mobile antenna? I guess, or maybe the house antenna.
No, he had the house antenna. W2 very good.
W2BTK, and a really cool microphone with an NBC flag on it.
Yeah, I seen that set up once or twice up at Airfest. And yeah, it's quite the installation, man.
Yeah, they don't make them like that. Operator and equipment.
I was going to say, you talking about the radio or Nick?
Nick is a human encyclopedia and with a really great personality.
I agree.
Hey Dave, check this out. Who am I?
Actually, you sound healthier. I can hear it. Hello, boy. Who is this?
You don't know?
It's Tommy!
Come on, Dave, you gotta know this voice.
You're seeing the static crashes.
You got a hammer over here, Tommy.
I don't think Tommy uses the word dis.
It sounds like Tommy, though. I thought it was Tommy. I guess that wouldn't make sense, though. He's not going to be on the radio.
Tommy? Tommy? Tommy?
Tommy, can you hear me?
That wasn't Tommy.
Yeah. We'll never know either. But you know, that's fine. Where the hell did Clark go? Is he reading emails or something?
Yup.
How come you're always reading emails when I say, hi, Clark?
I get bored easily. And I was just looking at this story here, how schools are going to change the names of those things in the front of the classroom that they write on. Whiteboards are done.
No, dude. What? Well, no. You know what? We called them blackboards when I was a kid.
Well, they got rid of that because that was incorrect. Then it became whiteboards. Now they're getting rid of that because that's, also bad.
They should just get rid of the teachers' unions.
Hey, what the hell? MasterCard is changing its name to Equity Card. So, you know what? Everything is on the table.
You know, there's a thing about anti-teachers unions and vouchers and all that crap, but then you have people who ruin that whole, that's a great idea, let's make it based on performance, but then you have a certain group of people who ruin that by screwing up the local municipalities for their own private schools, and they take all the bucks and really screw things up for minorities, like really screw things up.
can't win. But all this nonsense, like, banning syrup and, chalkboards and this and that, like, what are we doing here? I don't know. We need to make jobs. If everyone was a little bit busier, I don't think this crap would be happening.
All right, so if each of us were in charge, what would be the first thing we would do? I have to think about the answer to that. So you guys go first.
Defund the FCC.
Oh, hold on. I got to go to the bathroom.
I think no more licenses. It's too discriminatory because it means that people have to study. So that means anybody who can buy a radio can just get on the air.
Oh, gee, that's what's infiltrating AM. Yeah, that's a great idea, Clark.
There you go.
And no more discriminating against 11-meter people. So now we live in harmony. We just eat ice cream while we're on the air.
How about you, Phil? What would you do?
I would just throw my hands up in the air and say it's a free-for-all. Survival of the fittest.
Well, gee, no one will possibly get hurt like that. Yeah, that's a great idea. I see where you're coming from. Because the peace, love, and all that happiness and goodwill will take effect immediately. Yeah.
There's I don't know if it's been credited to anybody. There's a saying that goes like, hard times create strong men create good times create weak men. It's like that vicious circle. I'm in that weak men situation right now.
That reminds me of Mad Magazine article.
I say what we do is put all politicians on minimum wage. Good evening, AFV.
Hey, Toby.
Hi, Toby.
Good evening.
Now, how are you going to attract good politicians if you do that?
Oh, hold on a minute, Dave. I think that's actually an oxymoron right there. Good politician? I don't know about that.
Well, the first thing, if we're going to be serious, first thing is Congress. Congress needs to be like jury duty. You've got wherever you live, you have to register. Like maybe you need a high school diploma, maybe a job, and maybe not be a felon. And then your name goes in the pool, and then they pick your name, and they're like, Dave, you are now the senator, you're now congressman. And you'll be like, damn, I got picked for Congress. And then you have to do your job for 2 years from your home mostly. You travel to D.C. for meetings and whatnot. And then that's it. And then you're done. And then the next guy gets it.
Yeah, if I had to do that, if they made it a mandatory thing where I have to go in and serve, I would go in there and I'd be like, yeah, man, how you doing?
There you go.
Be like when he went for his Army induction.
Listen, this would probably get my head chopped off these days, but the easiest way to get out of jury duty is to stand up very deliberately after they explain, what the case is about and ask if the guy's black or not.
Last time I went for that, I remember being dismissed. Who was it? I can't remember who was who anymore, but I think it was the judge asked me about myself. And he's like, you have young kids? Yep, I do. I've got a son and a daughter. Okay, you're dismissed. Because the guy who was on trial apparently had a problem. Serious problem. He's going to have even more problems once he was incarcerated. This is W2VW. And the preceding was commentary. Please send all questions, answers, and complaints to W2VW at Comcast.net. Thank you.
Yeah, and I was totally joking, by the way. That was a joke I heard from somebody that's, I guess, not supposed to be funny anymore, but it kind of is. When am I getting my complaint department, Dave? Like, officially? I need to know. W2BTK on Montana Mountain.
I'm working on it. I'm not feeling particularly creative today because I'm like doing stuff, and so it'll be good. You know that when I tell you something's coming, it's going to take a few days. Have you ever been disappointed? No.
All right. Just to fill the space.
Nice. I want a Tim if that's Tim out there.
No, it's not.
Oh, you fooled me by stealing his trademark.
I didn't steal it, I hyped it. What's going on, Toby?
Not a whole heck of a lot. Work. All that good stuff down in Princeton. Other than that, just taking a break. Got the down at the house, dogs are going nuts, so I had to get away just for a little bit, come up to my little hidey hole at the farm. But got to run a little mini excavator all weekend. That was fun. Doing a septic line and a tie-in to the farm. Well, the farm here, it doesn't have a septic. It's got a cesspool, like a literal cesspool. All it is just, it's a hole dug in the dirt with railroad ties and metal over top of it for all the septic to go into. I know, riveting conversation for 75 meter. KD2 AFB.
Ooh, that's not good, though. You're not allowed to do that anymore. But if it's old enough, you're allowed to have it. Like, I guess this is where we went. I have a seepage pit. You're not even allowed to do that anymore.
Septic is a very important subject.
Yes, it is, because no matter who you are or where you are, at some point you have to deal with that in one form or another, whether it just be a hole dug in your backyard or a nice big expensive septic system, which I know for a fact that in the next few years when me and the wife take out a mortgage and buy the farm, we're going to be putting in a septic, because there ain't no way in hell they're going to see a cesspool and go, yeah, that's grandfathered in, that's fine. Yeah, they're going to shoot that down real quick. But luckily I know a few excavators, so the digging can be done for, a few beers here and there, maybe a couple bucks. Still not cheap, but got a few years to work on it.
Here in Gotham, you can just use the sidewalk.
Yeah, but it goes where you are. It all runs to Del Mar, New York.
Hey, I have a letter on letterhead from a septic company saying my stuff don't stink.
You have septic in Greenwich up there? I thought that was like, they would. Wow.
They don't even have excrement up there.
As I said, my stuff don't stink. Your all might, but mine doesn't.
But you like, yes.
You don't have it on letterhead. I do.
You gotta be careful when you drive your Range Rover out over that septic, man, when you gotta go switch to 160.
That's why he's got the snorkel tube extension on that thing.
I ever tell you guys what happened to my neighbor? He was trying to fill in a pool. When they bought the house, it had a pool, and I guess they didn't have any interest in the pool, and it was in an older in-ground pool, and I guess it needed maintenance, and so they decided to fill it in. So he got a load of filled dirt. Well, he got several loads, like lots, and had it dumped in his driveway, and he was wheeling it back and filling the thing in. Well, the guy showed up with the filled dirt in a tri-axle truck, beautiful truck, parked it in the driveway and started dumping it. And just about when he was halfway through tipping the thing, the ground swallowed his truck. Literally, the front axle. The truck was swallowed by the earth like there was an earthquake, because there was a septic tank way underneath the guy's driveway from years and years and years ago, and it caved in.
Hey, that's offensive to people named Phil. You're not allowed to say Phil Dirt. And real quick side note for Clark, we have a remote test scheduled for July 6th. And my buddy's all set up. He got his antenna up in the tree already today. It's working fine business. This dude's going to be on the air. All right. Just wanted to throw that out there. But, yeah, you're not allowed to say Phil Dirt, Dave.
Who's going to stop me?
All the people from Chop or Chaz or whatever, those dudes.
They were defunded.
Yeah, I can't say monotooth net either. But Clark will do it for me.
Nope, I'm not allowed to.
You're not allowed to say monotooth net?
Nope.
How do you pronounce that?
Clever.
Is it monotooth net, or is it monotooth, or is it monotooth, or is it monotooth net? Which one is correct?
It's the mono net.
You have to do it with sort of a whistle. Yeah, that was, what's his name? Red Hot Hemorrhoids or whatever. Yep, he read me the riot act, and so I capitulated and agreed not to say it anymore.
Well, I paid a lot of money for my radio, so I can get on here and give anybody the riot act. Although I don't know what the hell I'm doing. Don't know protocol. Don't know nothing. Never will. Thank you.
How is it I actually don't remember his name?
Red Hemorrhoid Radio, and he'll read you the riot act until something breaks in his transmitter, and then he goes, Robert, help!
No, this is really weird. I really don't remember his name. Weird, huh?
It got better. He's gotten better, but really, the guy doesn't need a radio, because he just talks some freaking stuff anyway. He's probably got headphones on. He's got the monitor turned up, and he's digging his own voice. There really doesn't need to be a transmitter involved. Seriously, if you listen to him.
All right, RHR. What the hell? What is his real name? Oh, this is so weird.
H. It's like Jesus H. Christ.
You guys are not being helpful. I really can't think of his real name. Oh my God. His old age is setting in.
It's because it doesn't matter.
It just doesn't matter. W2VW, speaking of not mattering.
Yeah, it does, because when you want to know something and it's not there, it's scary.
W2BTK.
The QSO consists of I smoke too many cigarettes and I'm going to talk about stuff. Yeah, I always want to be a jock. But hey, I don't have talent and I don't know how a turntable works. Or a card machine, so here I go. All right. Yeah, it's dark out.
Clark?
Yeah.
Hey, I just wanted to tell you that. Did you know that Woo Woo croaked?
Who?
Woo Woo. The world's greatest disc jockey, man. Woo Woo.
You guys are killing me. No.
Oh, Ginsburg. No. WMEX back in the 60s, man. You remember Woo Woo?
Oh, hey, wait a minute. I didn't grow up in Boston. I wouldn't know this. And what year?
It was in the 60s and 70s. WMX and Right. I am thinking about that.
All right. I know all about MEX today. I know Ed Perry owns it. I know it's at 2,500 watts. It goes down to, I forget what its pre-sunset authority is. I know it's 100 watts at night. I know it's diplexed into a 1260 tower. I have no idea who you're talking about. I was very young in the 60s and early 70s.
Okay, I thought you were up there in Boston. All right. I'll see you later. You want to check it out. Meet me in Ginsburg.
That I'll look into. All right, Marshall. Have a great evening.
This is W1HK. Over and out.
That was the hopping kangaroo.
Over and out. Oh, my gosh.
Good mood. What happened to Phil and Toby? Did we lose them?
I'm lost, but I'm still here.
Yeah, it'd be like me saying, hey, how about that Robert W. Morgan?
Uh-oh. Wait a minute. Can I make a point here? Go ahead, Dave. Someone on the chat who has a call sign, who is general class or higher licensee, says to tell Clark the guy's name is Craig, LOL. So I'm passing that traffic because I think that actually this is really a good emergency preparedness thing going between online and amateur radio. This is a pretty good drill. I think I can make that case to the officials who might want to slap somebody for doing that, but I'm not making a one-way transmission. There are other amateurs on the air. Just answered somebody's question from a licensed ham and mentioned his call sign. So I don't think there's any broadcasting or one-way crap going on here. I understand that it sounds like a gray area, but I don't think it is. But I'm going to find out.
Plus, people know that you care, Dave.
You know, Phil, you know how much that is at the top of my hit parade. I can't sleep at night if people don't get how much I care. Thank you.
Welcome. W2PHL.
W2AW, the caring station.
Yes, with a picture of size 10 shoe.
And W2BTK, I made a Discord server, so there's a live voice chat to go along with this, which is not connected to my transmitter in any way, shape, or form, but I have full control over it, so maybe at some point we can allow licensed people to come on and work under the control of W2BTK.
Why don't you just add Vox, and then you don't have to be bogged down.
You know, that would be good. It'd be really good, Billy, for like people who they've moved, you know, to a condo or something that used to be active. I mean, that would be a great way to do it, as opposed to what you find showing up on repeaters that people who don't really ever make an effort to make any RF are on the air. And they have extra rules. There's a lot of rules on repeaters, a lot of procedure, and a lot of rules that come out of nowhere. But really, if you get people, life has put them somewhere where they can't put up an antenna, but they used to be on the air, or, you know, to check in here. Why the hell would they want to talk with us? Let me think about this.
I don't know, but we can do, I mean, the other cool things we can do is on the stream, like, let's say that I'm not even on the air one night. I can have everybody check in. If you have a webcam and a microphone, I can put you on the stream. We can have, like, you know, like a podcast or some style thing going on the Twitch stream, you know, and the being on the air won't even be a part of it, but like I could have everybody's webcam up there and we could chat amongst ourselves on, you know, broadcasting on Twitch.
And to me, that goes over the point of where I'm not interested because there's no RF.
Yep.
But I see where you're saying. I see where you're going, and yeah, that might be fun for a lot of people. I'm not a lot of people, but personally, if there was a lot of discussion about the art of electronics and RF, then I would be interested in it. Other than that,
Just another hobby-related thing to watch live streaming on the internet. That's what it would be.
Conditions are good to Boston.
Meep, meep, meep. Did the Buzzy get me?
No, not even close. Good. What mic is that you're using there? It looks like it's set up so flies can't get into it.
Moi?
Yeah.
It's an Audio-Technica AT4040 cardioid condenser microphone.
And where does the it's a cardioid? Where's the major lobe on it? Is the way you got it pointed, or are you doing something special there with the vocals? Kind of reminds me of Lemmy.
No, it's it's straight at my face, and you start to get pretty big knolls on the side here, and then there's a little bit of pickup, like here and here. It's got kind of little lobes off the back, and then a big null off the back. So like my hand behind the microphone snapping, my hand in front of the mic snapping, my hands on the side snapping.
Good demonstration. Yeah, video where it's sync.
Well, it'll be in sync on YouTube, or if you're only watching on Twitch. But for those of us listening via RF, yeah, you're screwed.
Yep. These things happen. Well, I'm going to look at my parameters here. Yeah, I was listening to some of your video. Is it possible on your YouTube recordings that there's anything going on with the audio as far as extra compression from what's over the air?
Absolutely.
Or because of?
Whatever conversion it does. So what I do is I'll export it straight from Twitch, so they have some type of video and audio compression, and then it uploads to YouTube where they apply more audio and video compression. And it is what it is. When I make videos from the house, or when I shoot video and add my own audio to it, I have complete control of that compression, but then it still gets compressed and codecs and crap applied to it when it uploads to YouTube. And I don't know what they do, but it would be interesting to upload a test tone or something and send it through all that crap and do some forensic audio analysis on it to see exactly what the hell's happening.
Yeah, you need a Bonzo drum track, from something like Hot's On for Nowhere. You need to send that down the line and see the dynamic range, So that guy could beat the crap out of the drums. And you could tell instantly if it sounded right. Yeah, because I'm listening to various people on here, and it ain't right. It's just not right. And myself, I hear myself going in between talking like I'm on a respirator. I'm not.
I know, it does it to me too, even worse, because, you know, the transmit audio is picked up, you know, with all the nuance and crap. And that was like the first thing I noticed. It sucks, but yeah, there's a crap ton of compression that gets applied to all this, and, you know, it's fine for documentation, I suppose.
Yes. And documentation is very important anymore with the way the world is these days. Yeah. W2VW.
Who was that? Something Whiskey Foxtrot?
November 1, Radio Whiskey Papa.
N1R WF. Good evening.
WP. Norway 1, Radio Whiskey Papa.
Oh, RWP. I'm sorry.
How's the copy down there, Bill?
Oh, let me see. I gotta move my mouse over here. I don't have an S meter, but I can give you a signal to noise ratio on your next one.
Copy on that. Just want to see what's there. It's got to be close to my SWR almost, probably. However, let me know if it sounds all right.
It sounds all right. You peaked at like 45 dB SNR, and the average was probably like 40.
Copy on that. Copy on that. Yeah, I picked up the new amp I was telling you about last week there, the LEDP.
Nice. The old Ameritron. I think Toby's running one of those. He's on frequency too. I mean, he hasn't said anything in a while.
Copy on that. This was 6 months old. 6 months old, and got delivered right on point. Was very satisfied.
Yeah, man, it's doing well. You get a good signal here on Montana Mountain. There's a whole bunch of guys in the QSO here who could probably give you a quick signal report.
Copy on that. You guys have me laughing so freaking hard. With a guy that you're trying to find out who it is. The guy don't even need a triangle. He just full self. I almost fell off the freaking chair. But what are you building over there, Billy? We got stuff there. You got a wire shoot the phone into the video and.
Yeah, we have a good time. I gotta go take a tinkle real quick, but there's a bunch of people out here too. I wonder if how well you guys are hearing him.
Difficult.
I'll take a stab by N1 RWP. Go ahead, guys, pick it up.
Yeah, I got them good at my place. Like a 5 to 10 over S9 over here. I'm gonna hop out of here real quick though, but not sounding too bad. KD2 AFB.
What happened?
Hey, leave that alone. It's perfect. Can you turn the audio up?
I'm here.
The station that sounded something like Toby with square waves.
It was Toby. Something happened to Toby.
Let me check.
Yeah, leave it. It's great.
We are at 8.5, right?
You're almost competing with others on the band. I won't name any names.
From that standpoint, it is a companion bookend, isn't it?
Poor... Oh, he's got to take a break.
You got to do...
No, that's what thunder mugs are for. There's really no excuse for him to step away.
Thunder Muffin.
I totally agree.
W2 very weak at 740 because I was reading a Clark's Guide to Part 97.
Thunder Mug.
Yeah, no, I don't have any Thunder Mugs over here. I just noticed that the little pile of clothes that I left in the bathroom there when I took a shower, my cat has, she used those to go to the bathroom. That's not too nice, Boo Boo.
Even the cat's got a Thunder Mug.
Boo Boo's sending you a message.
Yeah, pick up your clothes. Man, I just threw some crap in the microwave too, so I'm gonna step away in like 4 minutes and go get that. How about that? What excuse? I mean, I gotta eat, you know? Boo Boo ain't gonna bring me any food. How about that, Clark?
No, cats aren't going to wait on you. They look at, what, butterflies and axe murderers the same way.
I cleaned her whole, like, little poo-poo palace out yesterday, put a new litter. It was, like, all nice and ready to go, and she just wants to pee on my T-shirt.
Oh, well, that's perfect. Now you're getting ready to be a husband.
Oh.
And this is why.
That's good. Good training.
Guys, there's a couple of girlfriends over there to take charge over there.
Kind of a different marriage, but hey.
It's the young girls over there.
I eat a lot of things over here.
Oh, man. If I was a little younger and my own house and like about 25, I'd be great.
Yeah, I wish I was 25. That was a good double.
Evening, guys. W1MAK.
1MAK. Hello.
Good evening. It's Roland from Connecticut.
Roger. You're about 20 over guest 9 down here on Beechwood Mountain in New Jersey, about halfway down the state at the Atlantic coast. But static crashes are horrendous.
What's your call?
W2, very weak.
Come back with the call again.
Uh-oh.
What happened?
He asked what your call was again.
Yeah, my call again is W2VW. W2 very weak. W2 very weird. W2 Victory Washington. Yeah. Hey, it's an election year.
Very warm.
Yeah, hey, that's right, Phil.
What? Well, Stacia just checked in. I've got a 45 dB SNR on you, which is not an S meter reading, but that's how far you peaked up above the noise level here. And you need it to get over the splash coming from down the band. Jeez.
Yeah, the Texas Traffic Net successfully got those people to move up a couple of kilohertz. Somehow, they must have threatened them, and they finally chickened out and moved up 3875. That's the only possible reason they could be there.
I wish I could do the Marge Simpson sound, like,
come on, Marge, lighten up.
Yeah, nobody could do minority voices now. The Simpsons, that's all over.
What's over?
It's all over. If you're a voice actor, you didn't hear about this? It's a new law. If you're a voice actor, you're only allowed to do voiceover work within your general DNA official rank. It's all going to be delineated, and if you go outside that, you're going to be declared an enemy of the state. You didn't hear about that?
What the hell is he talking about? Is that... Hold on a second. No, he doesn't mean... Oh, yes, he does. He's talking about some kind of... You're not allowed to do voices? Hold on. He's not saying that... Yes, he is. Put that guy on. What's his name?
Dave.
Put Dave on.
That's why I like you, because you're irreverent sometimes. It takes a little bit, but yeah. Thank you.
Man, the world is weird.
Sorry about that.
It's okay, Clark. It's fine. Great job.
Yeah, all about censorship, isn't it?
It's all about ruining everything.
Well, it's been a privilege hanging out with you guys. Can I say that?
You can. I just don't believe
I wouldn't mix that with my call sign. They might think you're somebody else and you'll get away with it. But thank you, Phil.
Yeah, I'll catch you guys later. W2PHL. Good
night. Savannah Tracy, good luck in the contest. Thanks for stopping in, Phil. Always fun.
Good signals, 7-3, my friend.
Yeah, you're 5 and 9. Thanks for the contact. 7-3.
Yeah, I never thought the Texas traffic net would get those guys to move up a couple of kilohertz, man. That's really scandalous. We're not even going to talk about that. Wow.
Yeah, that's kind of, you know what it is, Dave? It's sad. You gotta stand your ground. I don't know, I guess that's not really, well, no, yeah, you gotta stand your ground. This is crazy. I gotta pull my lower sideband passband way the hell in. I mean, they are right there, right up on 3885 with some of those.
Yeah, I have to look at that as a... You know what I look at that as. Anyway, yeah, Texas traffic net for the win, man. Moving up higher, it's the only possible explanation for that. They must have complained and gotten action. Yeah, that's it.
Well, we should trade with them. We go down to 73. They can come up to 85 and, be pushovers. And that'll be that. I don't know. You got Dak Cuso. Chris went down there. Almost, let's see. I have seriously been keeping track. That was about 2 hours, and it was over 2 hours ago when they went down there and fired up the QSO on 3873. I have it. I have proof. It'll be uploaded to YouTube. And what time does the Texas traffic net start?
I have no idea. What? That's like asking me, man, I can't even think of a good thing. It's like asking me when the last drop of water left the Sahara.
Yeah, could you figure that one out? Hey, Dave.
Hi, Mike.
Hey, how's your biscuit?
My biscuit's good, buddy. How about you? How you doing?
I'm all right. Working my tail off. What's up, Billy?
Hi, Mikey. Did you saw the biscuit?
Hey, I heard you switch over to the white supremacist Republicard guys there. How was that?
Oh, because I said hello?
You did more than that. The one guy there that's kind of weird. I mean, the other dude he's okay. He's fine. But that one dude there, he's kind of creepy, don't you think?
I just try to keep the peace, Dave.
So you're saying that you should check in and keep the peace with people that are jackasses. Is that what you're doing here?
Yeah, I try to keep the peace. You're really close to me, so I mean, you can pick up.
I could literally throw a bag of dog crap at you.
Yeah, I think you already tried that, right?
It's still in well, you got rid of your truck, but it was in the bed.
All right, we'll see you in a minute.
Must be time to ID. W2 very weak. Hi, Mikey.
W2 BTK.
I heard it too loud for here.
They sound good. Thank you.
Hey, Dave, how much more signal does Mikey have than me right now?
You really want to know?
Yeah.
Like, are you ready? Do you really want to know?
Yeah, no, for science.
This is science?
I'm going Super Saiyan once you tell me. How many more dB does Mikey have right now in your receiver than me?
Swear to God, my phone just went out of focus. My house meter stopped working. Let me fix that. Okay. Hey, Mikey.
Yeah, is this like the competition net? Is that what's going on?
What's wrong with that?
Hello?
I'm not even running any power.
Hello?
Is this like the key down from like channel 8?
It's a key down from whatever channel you want.
So this is like the Super Bowl?
Yeah, channel 6 on your CB dial.
Oh, 6. I said 8, didn't I?
You did. One thing's for sure, I can't hear you when I transmit.
Oh, that's a good thing. Okay, man.
We're going to do a take 2, Mikey?
Take 2.
5.
It's sick. You want the video?
Yeah. I'm running Clark Power right now, too.
We're impressed.
Seriously, Mikey, you want the video?
No, don't, Dave. I'm really good, but thanks anyway, bud.
Okay.
I just came in to say hello, that's all. I wasn't looking for any type of competition. I'm sorry.
No, we do competition here, nothing but competition, because, some of us were beat up in grade school.
All right, well, you guys continue measuring your dick size and I'll stand by.
What, you taught my nuns?
We're just being dumb.
You gonna put this up on your Twitch feed?
No.
Why not?
All right, I will.
While I work shooting this video, I swear my S-meter stopped working. It never does that. And I had to tap it. I have a new one, and I didn't put it in yet. Anyway, good to hear you, Mikey, and thanks for the competition. Thanks for the key down. That was great. Somebody wasn't 0B, but it wasn't you.
What? I'm sorry. You hitting the sauce early? I was looking at exotic cars. I'm sorry,
How many hours you putting in this week? thinking, how about U.S. government RICO statute cars? That would be really good.
He's got a 2018 Lamborghini Aventador here for $394,000. Insane.
I want RICO statute cars. United States government. You bid on them? That's what I want. I want the car that was owned by Manuel Noriega. No, I just want that. I mean, I might have Jimmy Hoffa's whole drivetrain in the car that I have. You just never know. I know it sounds kind of weird, but you just never know.
Might find a batch of heroin in the trunk with it.
I don't think you're going to find any heroin in my trunk. But you might find a 500 cube and Turbo 400. You just never know. You just never know where that came from. So, Mikey, the power lines on your street.
You're stalking my power line, Steve?
We were walking the dog, and even Ada says, the power lines on this street, there's 2 phases here, there's 1 phase here, this is the worst looking power line. She said that to me. I did not lead the witness, nothing, man. We were just walking the dog. I was minding my own business, and she said that.
Yeah, did you notify the power company?
You did what to the power company?
Did you notify them?
Well, I would, but I no longer have any friends in that. I did a few years back. I had a good friend that worked for that institution, but now I don't know anybody there.
Oh, so what are you worried about?
I'm worried your power's going to go out over there in South Beechwood. Where over here on Beechwood Mountain, I'll still be on the air.
I won't be on the air. I got a generator.
Yeah, well, you might get on the air, but what does your generator put out? Have you ever looked at the waveform or the output of your generator? I mean, field day was what? Yesterday, 2 days ago. Did you check your generator to see if your ACOM amplifier actually works with your generator? Did you do that?
I didn't participate in the field day. I wasn't doing the 1 Delta thing.
Why not? It's fun.
I heard you, though, on Spark Bucket. That was pretty wild.
They had a nice little pileup going. But Dave's right. You should check and actually see if your generator can do that. Because you don't know.
Wait a minute. You heard Billy and you didn't work him to give him a point?
Actually, I found it funny that John came in there and then Billy goes, "You got a strapping signal." He got a little pissed, I think.
You didn't give him a point, Mikey?
I gave him a beer.
But
if you had gone in there and given him a point for support, it would have been great, because what's his name? Timmy the Weirdo there, with too many W's in his call sign. That was the only vanity call sign that was actually picked by the FCC. That's a record. He might have heard you, because I think he was trying to corner him by that point.
is that what that was? There was definitely a little bit of quorum action, but it was pretty PW, like very, very much lost in the pileup. But, you know, they'd go in between keys and stuff. I'd hear a little bit of it. I mean, I couldn't even really make it out.
Yeah, they gave up pretty quick. They tried a couple carriers and some stupid crap, but I think they figured out that there's no chance.
Yeah, Papa Smurf. Oh well.
Papa Smurf, you get that, Mike?
And by the way, if I'm matching Mikey's signal, which it looks like I am, that's pretty stupid because, I mean, the Variac's down. I mean, I'm not even hitting legal limit peaks over here.
No, it's pretty dope.
Because he doesn't want to, I don't want to insult him. But listen, this is how it works on this band. So that tells me that Mikey's antenna is pretty well balanced, and I know mine is. You can be in the same neighborhood with somebody on this band, and if they have a really, really good balanced antenna, guess what? They'll blow each other away because the very high angle stuff isn't there. If it's high enough and the ground wave stuff is gone because you don't have any imbalance. Your surface wave, ground wave is based on imbalance in the antenna system locally. So if you've got a balanced antenna system, you don't really put seriously loud signals to your neighbors. And I've proven that with people who don't exist anymore.
It's a really good point.
Anyway, gotta take a break. We're gonna go take care of, I think I have to check my line voltage, so I'll be back later maybe or maybe not. So, nice to talk to you all, and I'll be listening for a bit. W2 very weak.
Doesn't he sound sarcastic when he says that?
See you later, Dave. Nice talking to you.
Yeah, they're really sorry to hear those guys chickened out of operating on 3873 because of the Texas traffic net. Man, they must have gotten in big trouble. Good night. W2 very weak.
Hey, Dave, it was nice talking to me.
Yowza.
Hi, Clark.
Good evening.
Hey, Clark, I'm trying a Cabernet tonight. I haven't opened it yet. I don't know if I will open it tonight, but I got one here. Haven't tried that yet.
What have you been doing? Merlot, Rosé?
Just like red stuff, red blends mostly.
Red stuff. Yeah. What did you get for Cabernet?
No, it's not very good stuff. I mean, whatever was like $15.
Well, the thing is, my cousin's husband worked for Diageo, which is a huge importer of liquors, and he knows his wines big time from that gig, and he said that the price on the wine is not necessarily an indication of the quality of it. And he said there are a lot of smaller wineries that are top-notch, but they have to price their wine low just to get market share. They can't just show up and be expensive because no one will give it a shot. And I've learned a lot from him because, when I go over there for dinner, they've got this wine and it's always really good. He is amazing at matching wines with dinners. And the ones that are really good, I've taken note of, and I intend to buy those. So don't worry about the price so much. Just make sure that it's low on sulfates, and you get the hangover, and look for quality, not necessarily price. And one BCG.
Okay, so this is from California, C.K. Mondavi and family. And I tried the red blend that they have, and it was one of the better ones I tried, so I went for the Cabernet this time.
Well, that'll be interesting. Are you having it just by itself, or are you having it with, like, cheese or something else?
It's like a big mix. Sometimes I'll get some cheese and crackers and crap, but I always forget to have it with dinner, So pretty much by itself, I'm going to try it.
One of my favorites is red wine, like a Cabernet, and garlic bread. If it's really well-made garlic bread, boy, I mean, that could be dinner right there. There are some restaurants I've been to where they make the mistake of having amazing garlic bread, and then we'll go and polish it off, and then the waiter will see that it was gone in like 2 minutes. because it's that good. And then, oh, can I get you some more bread? Absolutely. And then by the time the dinner shows up, it's like, yeah, I'll just have doggy bags or stuff.
That's got to make them mad, though. Don't tell the chef.
No, not at all. No, what makes a chef mad is when you say, oh, this wasn't prepared well. This was undercooked, or this is overcooked. Overcooked is the worst, because then they can't, like, cook it more. They've got to basically like to scrap it. That's the worst, overcooked. But no, we're and by the way, the chef doesn't know. The chef is unaware of that. The chef only finds out when you send stuff back because it's no good. So if we sit there and we get all loaded up on, garlic bread and wine, and then the meal comes out and we say, oh, we'll take 3 bites and like, we're stuffed, we need to get it to go. The waiter just comes back with the, with the go home bag. And by the way, if you're asking to take the rest home, obviously it's good. So no, but you're right. You got to be mindful of the chef's opinions. But in this case, they're fine.
I could see that. I watched a bunch of, when I was working a lot, I was watching couple episodes like Hell's Kitchen. That show is intense as hell, man, and they send everything back, but I think that's part of the show. Real quick tangent. I should be getting my vector signal generator next Friday to do fun experiments with.
Fun experiments. Okie dokie.
Yeah, like you can, into like a dummy mode, you can draw stuff on the waterfall, or you can transmit on 3885 and 3875 at the same time, or you can make an ESBE.
ESSB?
ESBE, electronic slop bucket elimination device.
Oh, gotcha. I always thought that involved a Varactor diode and a DC blocking cap. Okay, fine.
The grazing area. No, it's not a tube type. It's an ESBE.
All right. Doesn't have to be a tube type, but yeah. Very interesting. So when is this arriving?
Well, I'm gonna meet the guy. He's driving up to his parents and gonna stop because I'm on the way. I'm gonna go meet him on next Friday.
Gee, and I thought it was exciting when a tube of outboard engine lower unit gear oil showed up in the mail today. I guess it's all relative.
He's got a bunch of cool YouTube videos, like doing fun stuff with it. I think his YouTube is MATLAB SDR.
MATLAB. All right.
But yeah, cool dude. He found my YouTube page, and he found the video of me talking to Daniel about IQ modulation and independent sideband and all that stuff, and was like, hey, like, you don't have to build any fancy crap. You could just do it with a vector signal generator. And he was like, I've got an old one that only puts out, like, flea power, like, like a very, very low milliwatt output, but he's like, here, you can have it.
That's cool. Yeah, Daniel. We don't hear from Daniel so much anymore. And then there was another guy. Who was he? He was like a one-hit wonder. He showed up. He was in upstate Connecticut. This is months ago. Young guy, too. He was like, 19 or something? And he had a pretty good AM setup, and he just disappeared. I can't remember his name.
Hello, Clark.
Or back to this. Yes?
How you doing, Clark? Talking to you.
It certainly has. Good evening.
Good evening. 82 ASL.
Why didn't you pick up the conversation earlier?
And hello, Daryl.
I left out the room. I had to leave out of the room.
Oh, you're not the normal signal strength you usually are.
I know, I'm weak. I need medicine, Clark. I need some medicine.
Well, wait a minute. So what rig is this?
This is a new 73 Icon. I went to go put up a guy antenna about 2 weeks ago. I go put up his antenna thing, and the guy buys me this damn radio. And I'm like, he ordered one, then he said he ordering two. Then he said, oh, you can come pick up your radio. I said, what are you talking about? I told you I was going to buy you an Icon. I'm like, I really don't need no Icon. I bought it, so come get it. So I said, well, I'll tell you what, I'll take this thing down to North Carolina. So I'm trying to figure out the bells and whistles in this thing. So I might sound, I don't know what the hell I sound like. But here it is, and here I am.
Man, you've got some good friends out there. I think that might be a record. A gifted 7300. I think that might be a record.
Oh, yeah. I'm trying to get him on. I'm trying to say. But I think he's a slop bucket. I think he like talking sideband. So I try to get him to come here, but I don't know. I don't know. So what is that? Well, it's a plain Jane.
Well, you can't, baby steps. You got to enjoy what you just got, first of all.
I'm not used to this kind of stuff. So I'm going to take it to the Carolinas and just tuck it way down there. I got a 160 dipole antenna. So I'll string that all out. String it out and I'll use this thing down there. I might have to buy a little amplifier with this thing. This thing just, I'm only going about 25 watts now, 25.
Well, you can always rebias your big rig amplifier for Class B or I guess Class AB2 and use that as a linear.
Ooh. Yeah. Yeah, I thought about that too, but I got the Yaesu for that, so I don't know. This would be okay for the Carolinas. It's a real small, compact. Put it right in the truck and just take it down there and have no problem. All right, Clark, good hearing from you, and I'm going to get out of here. I talked to Billy early today, so take care, and I'll be listening in. By the way, I tore the room up, and I ran 220 lines and getting ready for the big gates. Getting ready for that, for the fall, so we in the making of getting the gates here.
Wow. All right. Lots of stuff to look forward to. Well, good hearing from you, Daryl. Enjoy it. God, I can't believe you got a 7300. I'm going to be going to bed thinking about that, staring up at the ceiling. How about that? He got himself a 7300 by being a great guy. See that? That should be a lesson to everybody.
Oh, yeah.
He got a BC1T, man.
That's next.
I want to hear that thing.
That's what the 220 is for.
Now he just needs the Timtron to come throw it on to 80 meters. Well, anyway, that's a lot of noise and crap.
Yes, it is. which means I probably need a refill. But anyway, you're still bombing in here, even though you're clarking it, as Timtron would say.
Yep. About, not even at the legal limit. But that's cool. It's not necessary. Oftentimes I come out here with 30 or 40 watts and it's all that's necessary. But I figured since there's so much lightning static and so much crap, I'll go up to Clark Power. Clark's power level that he runs all the time.
Yeah, well, there is some method to that madness.
I know you're going to go get a drink, but I really thought, you must have been yanking my chain, but I thought you could turn FETs on and off individually.
Turn FETs on and off individually. You mean me or in general?
Like you've got 4 FETs in your E-rig, and I thought you could use just 2 or all 4 or
or none.
What?
Well, the thing is that no, I don't think that would work because oh boy, Steve could clarify this. I actually am not sure because I know that the damping capacitors, is what I call them, these are the ones that are in parallel with the FETs. They go between the source and the drain leads. I think that those are based on the impedance of the circuit. So if you reduce the number of FETs, then the impedance changes. So I don't know that you can just do that, but you can cut the voltage in half, and I do that because I've got an Antec power transformer in this also, and it's got a 240 and 120 primary configuration. Basically it's got 2 separate primaries, so in series it would work for 240. But since the whole thing's running on 120, whether those primaries are in parallel or series will make the rig either run at full power or quarter power.
That makes sense. That's probably a better way to do it than to try to switch a bunch of important resistors in and out and crap like that in the finals. Well, that's cool. So you can do that though, at the flip of a switch?
Yeah. I have to go through off to switch down because otherwise if I turn it on, I use the FETs to discharge the capacitors. I mean, there is a bleeder on there, but I usually like to let the bleeder bring it down so that it doesn't get screwed up. The only difference in that point is I have to switch in an attenuator on the audio input because the modulator still runs at full power. So if the RF deck output has been cut down, the modulator input has to have an attenuator. So there's an H-pad. There's an H-pad on the input that when it's running at full power, there's no shunt. There's no, resistors going in the center. And then when it goes to low power, a relay closes and it adds the shunt resistor, so it automatically brings the audio down to match the lower power.
I could learn a lot from that. Having a switch that does that would be super convenient for me, but since I have continuously variable power level. It's not just cut it in half. It's variac, so it could be set literally anywhere. The modulator's the same thing. It's continuously variable. So I have to key up for a second and look at the scope and go, and then, okay, that's good. But yeah, it's kind of a pain in the butt. I like your way better, but not continuously variable. and I like that. So it's like I'm torn.
Is there any way to power them from the same Variac?
I'm not sure that this Crown Audio amplifier would be that happy about reduced voltage, but then again, why wouldn't it be? And no, because like I've explained before, the Variac is hooked up incorrectly, the wrong way, on purpose, just cause.
Actually, here's something clever. If you put together a circuit, I'm just kind of thinking out loud here. This is not a fully baked idea, but if you created a optical coupler attenuator and you put that on your audio input so that the how would this work? So that the more voltage you got to your PA deck, the more audio you'd get going into the modulator. So as you drop the voltage to your PA, it would increase the attenuation of audio going into your modulator. So you could actually leave the modulator running, at full gain always. And then it would just scale the input down with the RF input, the RF power input.
Yeah, I don't know much about how to do that. I mean, that's exactly how it works right now. Only it's all manual. It's not. There's no opto coupling, anything that would track that. But what do I have to look up?
I'm sorry. What do you have to do?
Well, yeah, I've never used like an opto coupler. Like I don't know what that's all about.
What it is it's like an integrated circuit which only has 4 leads on it. 2 leads go to an LED. And what it is it's an LED and a photoresistor in the same package. And so what happens is the more voltage that you put on the LED pins, the more the other 2 pins conduct. So when you have no voltage going into it, it's a pretty high resistance. And then, because it's a photocell that creates the resistance. And so the more light it gets, the more, it's the same thing that, like at the supermarket, when you put your groceries on the belt, it runs until it senses something blocks the light from the photocell, and then it stops running until the cashier picks up stuff, and then the belt starts again. That's how that works. And so, but they've got that whole light and photocell in its own package, in a little integrated circuit package, a 4-pinner. So what you would do is I don't know about the scaling of it, you'd have to experiment, but you would run the audio through the photocell side of the chip, and then you would power the LED leads off of like a wall wart or something like that. So, and then that would be connected to the Variac. So the more voltage it got, the brighter the LED inside the chip would be, and so the lower the resistance, and so the more audio that would go to the modulator. And then as you brought the Variac down, the LED inside would start to go down in poles, and the resistance would go up, and then that would create the loss of input level to the modulator.
WB2GCR.
Hey, Bear. That makes sense. I didn't know that. Opto coupler. It seems like it would work, but I don't think I could just use like my plate supply primary voltage to do that. I'd have to like scale that down and then feed the diode side. And then on the photocell side, would that affect my frequency response at all? Like, would that screw with audio?
No, it's just a resistor. It's a photoelectric resistor. So it doesn't have any bandwidth restrictions to it. But you would power it from, like, you've got the Variac plugged into the electrical outlet. The output of the Variac is what? 120 volts, 220, whatever. And you would just take that voltage and it would go to your power supply for your RF DAC, but it would also go to a wall wart, which would bring it down to, like, what, 6 volts? And then you put a series resistor on that because you got to limit the current because it's powering an LED, just a tiny little LED inside an integrated circuit chip. It requires no current at all. And then, and that's how you would power the photocell.
Can I explain this?
Go right ahead. I thought I just did, but give it a shot.
Well, no. The optocouplers use an LED and a phototransistor, not a CDS cell, cadmium sulfide cell. You're thinking of the variable resistance cadmium sulfide cells that were sometimes...
The wall wart was the missing link that I missed. That I could do that.
You can run audio, well, not very loud audio, through the cadmium sulfide cell. So, what you want to do basically is what Clark's talking about, is you want to take a scaling of either your primary voltage or your
W2BTK.
Use that as a control voltage to control a variable gain element back on the audio side. And the real way to do that is with a voltage controlled amplifier, VCA, which you can buy as a chip, but it's a long way to go to just walk over and make an adjustment on the modulator. But I don't believe an optocoupler will really want to do that. They're not really intended as linear devices. They're primarily used, the modern ones are designed for digital.
If I may interject, yes, you're correct. Some are like that, but there are others which are actual cadmium sulfide, and they're used in Wheatstone audio boards. Because in broadcast use, you don't run the audio through the potentiometers on the mixer because you get noise. So what they do is they have the variable resistors, in other words, the potentiometers or pots, the gain control pots, control these chips. And then and they are linear. It's not they're not directional. It is literally a resistor.
You're talking about a voltage-controlled amplifier, Clark. I'm 99% sure.
No. Wheatstone boards. Audiotronics boards. I worked on them. They are actual resistors you can run audio through. I know what you're talking about, but I'm talking about something different.
Well, when you say actual resistors you can run audio through, do you know a device type?
Yeah, I can look it up. I mean, if it was going to get to that point, Billy and I would end up emailing. But yes, I can look it up. But those are used in broadcast audio boards for the attenuator circuits.
Well, I'd be very surprised if they do that, but I defer to you. You might look up Penny and Giles pots like they used at Abbey Road.
Yes, we had those also in consoles. I'm talking about a different brand of board, but yes, I'm very familiar with Penny and Giles. Remember, I've been a chief engineer for 35 years. I've come across that.
Well, congratulations. I'll give you a gold star.
Don't you hate it when you have to resort to stupid shit like that?
Pots. That's the
I know.
pot.
I've been a chief engineer for 35 years. I goddamn well know all this crap. Yeah, I hate people who do that.
Lumitron pots. That's what you want.
Yeah, exactly.
And the trick to using the CDS cells is you put them in a bridge configuration, and then that linearizes them. Ooh, did I tell someone a secret? But it would be really a lot easier to buy a VCA chip and just sample the voltage and then control the gain at the audio input. That would really be a lot easier. Well, geez, I hate to break up the friggin' party over a discussion about an attenuator. Oh, my God. What the heck is the deal?
I'm still waiting for my gold star for all that time in engineering.
Well, it's in the mail. It's in the mail. You want a tracking number?
Yes, I would, and let me know which service you use to ship it. I gotta go get that Cabernet. I'll be back in one BCG.
Yeah, I'm gonna go fill my glass to W2 BTK.
Yeah, I'm gonna go. Oh, I can't say that on the air. But it is a cool idea if you guys can still hear me, you know. Adjust the power output of your final and adjust your modulation level automatically. It is a cool idea.
I was getting ready to bust out of here anyway. I kind of sealed the deal. I can't take Bear seriously. Not gonna get into it. He's a good guy. He is. Fine operator, Bear. But yeah, let's see. This 3.5 hour stream tonight. Woof, had some good radio. Band was completely dead. Now teeming with life. So good stuff. Who all is left in here? I figure I'll do a little bit of just chatting if you guys are up for it. If not, you know, I'm gonna go about my night. Well, all right. Someone just came in here. Oh, Clark's really back. Hold on. I didn't want to be alone with Bear. I'm scared.
I'm so pissed weak I could die.
Well, Chester.
Hi, Timmy.
Turkey or hearse, whatever you got over there by the barn. Come in and sit down and have a sarsaparilla.
Hey, what say, Sonny?
Yeah, have yourself a sarsaparilla.
Yeah, sarsaparilla at the same time.
I wonder what that really tasted like, you know?
Well, it leaves up to the imagination.
Yep, I can't imagine. How are you this evening there, Tim? How you doing? Rained all day here today, which we needed, but it rained.
Well, it's pretty much doing the same thing. It's still raining on and off. Yeah, we need it all right. We really need it. So, that's a good thing. I've had these two pieces of gear on all day, just kind of listening in. Actually, the receiver got bumped off frequency, so I was listening to nothing. So I don't know how active it was. I was on 05 for a while in the morning, and then I've been up here. I've been playing around with YouTube, and I'm sitting in front of a computer monitor. My neck is sore. So I'm Gonna hang out to a little bit of ham radio, and then I'm gonna call it quits.
Yep. Yeah. So, I don't know. All sorts of cool stuff going on today, but what are you going to do? What are you going to do? Well, Clark was in here talking to Billy about adjusting the input to his audio when he turns down the stereo vinyl, which is a perfectly fine idea.
Oh, yeah, I caught a little bit of something, but I wasn't listening. Use a rubber band on the knob to the audio gain, also wrapped around the shaft of the Variac so that when you turn down the Variac, it'll track and turn the audio gain down with it.
Well, that's a pretty crude way to do it. Yeah, well, you know, you need a ratio, but yeah, that's a pretty crude way to do it. Yeah, I can just see this, 3-foot-long cog belt and the knobs on the front of this Crown amplifier replaced with a cog-type gear, like they run on copiers and stuff.
Yeah, well, I'm sure Billy will.
Yeah, well, you can't use electrician's tape on it, though. He's a bright boy. I'm sure he'll come up with a plan.
Yeah, I'm sure he will. I'm sure he will.
Yeah, I just adjusted manually. I turned down the Variac, and then I turned down the modulator, and I go and watch the scope to see how well I did.
Well, that's all I do when I'm driving the amplifier with, say, the exciter class Ranger, which may be earlier I had on, it's about 25 watts, and then with the amplifier I go to low power, and I just scope and go, and drop on the audio.
That's it. I just, before I turn the high voltage on in the amplifier, I get it all set up in the exciter and go and hell, it just then I turn on the high voltage and we're good.
I'm about ready to crash. I'm curious, how are you hearing me tonight?
You got about just over a 30 dB SNR on that last one, but I haven't been looking at it, so you could have been in a fade or this or that. I'll watch, and I'll watch and get an average for you.
Well, 30 dB signal to noise ratio was awful bad.
Hey, you peaked closer to 40 on that one, so there's that much fluctuation in there.
Well, there would be. Jeez, Bear, how long have you heard me? Apparently you're hearing me.
Yep, I'm hearing you just fine, Timmy. I hear you just fine. I've got the Galena Crystal just right with the cat's whisker on it. And I've got to hold the cat very, very still.
Yes, you gotta hold that cat very, very still, because he doesn't like having a whisper up his to an electrode.
That's technical talk. Yeah, you sound fine. You're about S9. There's Craddock stashes. I don't care.
Yeah, well, I'm on the dreaded TCS set. It's only about 30 watts, but currently the wind is blowing the right way, and guys are well above the static.
Yeah, well, I don't know, Tim. You got so many transmitters to choose from. I just don't know. When are we going to hear the Blue Magoo again?
Oh, I don't know. It's sitting here, and where it's got to be in its box. I got to roll it out and hook up the cables. One of the projects took me 3 years to do after I decommissioned it to move some gear around is get this dreaded TCS set going. Now that's done. So the next transmitter on the list would be the Blue Magoo.
All right. Well, I just thought I'd ask. Sometime, if you think of it, step back into the doorway and shoot a wide shot of the shack and send it off to me. I'd like to see it. I think I've seen bits and pieces over the years. I don't think I've got a real understanding. Or you can shoot a leftward facing and a rightward facing, and I'll mentally splice them together.
Well, I can take the camera. I thought of doing how things are in here.
Well, how do you do panoramic without a movie?
Well, you take a number of shots, and then it's up to you to look at each one and see where the edge of one begins and the other ends.
Oh, yeah, definitely. Send them along. Don't put it, 10 megabytes in one email, but yeah, send that along. I might even dork with it in the equivalent of Photoshop and stitch them together for fun. I'd love to see that. That would be great. That would be excellent. Yes. WB2GCR. I think Clark was coming back, and Billy, you can feel free to key up.
Yeah, well, much like Timmy, I've been operating for about 3.5 hours, so I was going to call it quits pretty soon. The lightning crashes are getting real bad. I've been listening to them and everyone else for quite a while now, so I was kind of going to fade off into the sunset and go do something else for a little while. Timmy, you got to... I don't know what kind of computer you got, but you got to get one of these newfangled live streams going. I got myself an older model GoPro camera on Fleabay for about $50, and that thing has a 180-degree field of view. So I've got that and a normal webcam, and I switch between the two camera angles. One is like you can see me on the mic with the rack in the background, the audio rack, and then I can switch to that GoPro camera and you can see the entire operating position. It's pretty cool. Get set up with something like that, you could make YouTube videos and all kinds of cool stuff. It's not too much of an expense, a little bit, but not too bad.
I was hoping you'd have a rack.
Another digital camera, it'll be something I'll spend some real money on. But the one I've had my cameras given to me. I've got a first digital camera is a Kodak, and I believe it's still quite functional. And then a friend of mine many years ago gave me a Nikon Coolpix 995, which was a early 90s vintage or middle 90s vintage camera. Then I've got several different lenses. I've got a wide angle, I've got a telephoto, and then there's a standard size lens. And it uses a CF card, and I can, my wife uses it all the time, taking photos. And then I've got the little mini attached cable, that I go into whatever computer's USB connector. I can interrogate it, see what's there, and label all the photos and pull the ones I want, and maybe what I should do is use Radio Horrors.
Yeah, that's pretty cool. If you want to, shoot the video and then dump it on your computer. But what I'm talking about is all real time, and you would need a digital camera for that. But this GoPro it'll put out an HDMI signal. You can do obviously audio and video. I just use the video output, and I have a capture card hooked up into the USB port of my computer, so it puts out video in real time, and then I just hit record on my software, and I can talk at it, or I can live stream, or do whatever. It's like a live camera at that point, and that makes it a little more easier and convenient, I guess, I don't know, to do this kind of stuff. But with what you've got, you should see if your video camera, what type of output it has, and then you could just get a capture card and go real time into your computer, and you just record right on the computer.
Yeah, I'll have to check that out. I don't know if things new enough to be able to do with that technology. One of the latest whiz-bang cameras is one by the name of Terry, who's involved up at BCQ, and she spent $600 and got a very high-end Nikon camera that's got a very large lens and has a tremendous focal length, shoots video and records audio. So I thought something like that would be very, very nice, because I could do short movies with something like that easily.
Man, and it would be really cool if you did, man. I would love to see some Timtron videos on YouTube, man. Just short stuff, talking about this or talking about that. Like, here's what you gotta do if you wanna blah, blah, blah. You know what I mean? I think that would be the best. W2BTK.
Well, I know exactly what you mean, and I've been thinking about that. It's like one of the things I got to do, I'll have to start looking into it, because I'd like to have the Timtron Institute of Technology as a YouTube site.
Yeah, well, that would be great. If you need any help with that crap, or I don't know if you edit video or this and that, but if you do end up shooting video and making some of that stuff, you can send me raw footage and I'll edit it down for you and upload it as video, whatever, because there's a lot of when I'm shooting video, there's a lot of and this and that I edit out, and if I walk over somewhere to do something, I edit out me walking over there just to make it more fluid or whatever. And I'm getting some pretty good chops with it, so if you do end up filming stuff, I'd love to help you out with it. If you need somebody to edit stuff or whatever, I'm available, because I want that to happen, man. I really do.
Yep. Let me take you up on that. I know Clark did the 180 League video of the Gates AC-1T, but I gotta get something together so I can raw audio footage. I mean video footage.
Yep. And trust me, if you get a bunch of like raw footage, it'll do much better if you edit it down a little bit, get rid of, the pauses and the dead air and this and that. And it's not that easy. Like it takes a little bit of time, but yeah, if you end up filming anything and you get it digitized, just send it over. I'll help you edit it down, and we can make some videos. I'll send them back to you, and you can watch them. And if you want anything changed or this and that, I'll totally work with you, because the Tit channel on YouTube needs to happen. It really does.
Yes, indeed. Well, I see all these other people, that put stuff up. Some of it's hilarious, and some of it's misled. And I think I fit somewhere in the middle.
Yep, ham radio Mythbusters.
Exactly. Well, the audio foolery will be another subject.
Yep, all right. And on that note, I'm going to slide out of here. It's getting a little hairy. The lightning crashes are bad. And, I'm ready to ride off into the sunset. But please, man, if you do end up filming anything, or you just feel inspired to do it, film it. Like, just get some raw video together, send it to me. I'll spend some time editing it down. I'll send it back to you, and let's do something, man, please. All right? W2BTK.
I'll catch you later. Yeah, I would like to. I really would. Anyway, I gotta get back to it. And, let's see. I was on YouTube for quite a while, snagging, various tunes and, adding them to the repertoire of stuff. At the same score, I did, check my email, and there, I don't know how long ago you sent me that stuff. I haven't gone that far back to find it, so I'm kind of tempted to sign out and fire up the internet computer a second time and see how I can find out what you sent. I'm going to get out of here, too. That's why I'm not putting anything of any power on, because I didn't expect to stay in here long, and I didn't expect anybody to really be able to hear me all that well in the first place. We'll see you guys later. This is WA1HLR.
See ya, Timmy.
Later.
All right, well, there you go, as Timmy says. Pretty fun stream. It was the same before. The band was dead. We ended up having a real nice QSO anyway. Just so you guys know, I threw a Discord server up. I'll share the link real quick in there. There's a voice chat. You guys can hop on and banter back and forth. I think you could do video with that as well. And my plan for it is some nights when there's not much going on the radio, this and that, I could have you guys come in the Discord channel, which here, let me throw that up there real quick. So that's my Discord, and like I said, you do voice chat and I think video chat in there as well. So nights when there's not a lot going on, if you want to get on Discord with your webcam and your mic, I can like split screen everybody up here and we can talk about radio stuff, have like a little mini, I guess, what is that, a podcast or some, I don't know. But I think it would be fun, yeah. So the Discord is up now. There's the link to it in the chat. And yeah, thanks for hanging out, everybody. I'm gonna ride off into the sunset. but it's been a blast. Love seeing all you guys in here. And man, the Hot Glass Pickers is taking his exam, his general class in a couple days, or in like a week or so. So everybody wish him luck. He's got his antenna up, and I'm looking forward to chatting with him on the air. So check out the YouTube. I'm posting stuff up there every day, pretty much. A lot of it is just a Twitch stream, but I have been making some videos here and there. I just did some field day stuff. There's a video of that. And yeah, thanks for hanging out. Follow on Twitch, subscribe on YouTube, all that crap everyone says at the end of their stream. It would be cool. But anyway, thanks for hanging out. Thanks for hanging out. I'll catch all you guys later. I'll probably be streaming tomorrow night. So I think I got about a week or so before I go back to work full time. So take it when you can get it. The streams are probably going to get a little shorter once I go back to work. So with that, peace out, everybody. Yeah. Oh yeah, that's it. Like, follow, subscribe. That's right. Yeah, I'm not a professional. Thank you, Giant. And thanks for hosting me like every time I go live, dude. That's really cool. I thank you for that. It means a lot. So yeah, thanks for the support, guys. I'll catch y'all next time. Have a good night.